Today I own the #1 overall NFL draft pick for the next 20 drafts, spanning over 2 whole decades. We're going to be attempting this journey with the Arizona Cardinals, since I believe they have the worst roster in football. And of course, we have a bunch of objectives that we have to complete over the next 20 years, which won't be easy. #1, because we start with a terrible roster. And #2, the only thing I'm allowed to do throughout this entire challenge is make the #1 overall pick, which means free agency, the rest of the draft will all be decided by the CPU, which makes it even more vital that I nail every single one of my first picks today. Because over the next 20 years controlling the Arizona Cardinals, we have got to draft the offensive and defensive rookie of the year. One of the players that we draft #1 overall has eventually got to win offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year. Another one of our #1 picks eventually has to win MVP. And most importantly, by only controlling the #1 overall pick, we have got to win the Cardinals at least 4 Super Bowls. And every objective that we fail to complete over the next 2 decades, we'll add a copy of Madden 27 to my huge giveaway that's being tallied up through the offseason and given away to my subscribers come August. Now, the one and only bonus that I do get for this challenge is every single player that we do draft #1 today will be locked in as a Cardinal for their entire career, which I feel is fair considering I don't get to conduct the contract renegotiations. So let's get to scouting for draft #1, because I really feel like this next pick's going to set this franchise up for the entirety of the next 20 years. Now, before we do analyze the first mock draft, we need to really break down the current roster that we have to really figure out what we need to even go after with our first #1 overall pick of the day. Now, obviously, the big glaring need on offense is the quarterback position. Jacoby Brissett, current 76th overall. This question is, though, do we really draft a quarterback in this first draft, or maybe wait until there's a better option maybe next year? Because there's so many holes in this roster, man. Looks like Marvin Harrison had a really good season. He's up to an 84 rated. Mike Wilson's up to an 82. So I think we're going to receiver for now. Definitely could use some offensive linemen, especially on this right side. I just don't know if there's any offensive linemen worth taking #1 in this upcoming draft. You'll see, because on defense here, bunch of big positions of need too. Free safety, but I'm not taking a free safety with the #1 pick. So that's where things are going to get difficult. When it gets to the point, maybe 10 years down the line, and free safeties are a biggest position in need. Do I take a free safety with the #1 pick since that's all I can control? I don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge once we get there. I'm wondering if we really try and get ourselves a premier pass rusher in this first draft. Because obviously Josh Sweat is great, but he's getting on up there in age. On the other side, all we have is Zaven Collins and Baron Browning. So, we could really add ourselves a premier pass rusher in this first draft that could be here for the next decade, dude. I feel like that might be the move, especially if we maybe could target a better quarterback next year's draft. Which I do want to say, the latest mock draft has us going Fernando Mendoza, which, funny enough, has Ty Simpson going #2. But like I said, I think it's really a realistic possibility that we pass up on quarterback here, because there should be some better QBs in draft #2. Maybe we go David Bailey. We could go Ruben Bain, who's actually a scheme fit. I feel like that would probably be smart to get ourselves a scheme fit in this first draft, but he's projected to go all the way at #9. And I do also want to say, we are going to be using realistic NFL draft prospects for the next 6 seasons. Have no idea how that's going to go, but we're here for the experiment anyway. Which, yes, boys, at this point in time, free agency is done and dusted. The CPU only signed Josh Dobbs, which is just stupid. That's really aggravating, too, considering the team has a total of $133 million in salary cap just sitting there. But it is officially time to lock in here, boys, as hopefully we can go and make the best draft pick in Arizona Cardinals history here. Oh, it's actually kind of crazy, boys, because you look at the talent projection. Mendoza's not even a surefire round 1 pick. Ty Simpson's a day 3 pick, and he's probably going to go #2, which is just crazy. So I think with how bad our roster is, we just need to go with the most talented player. I just don't know who that is, though. Probably Caleb Downs, but again, I'm not taking a safety. Maybe Jeremiah Love, but I don't need running back right now. I think it's really going to come down to David Bailey or Ruben Bain, whichever I think is the higher rated of the two. Because David Bailey does look pretty good. He's the fastest at the combine, and everything here looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, if it's a tiebreaker, I'm probably gonna go Bain because he's a scheme fit. I think that's important. Look at those key ratings, dude. Ruben Bain's not the fastest, but that's not necessarily what we need either. His ratings, I think, are actually better, dude. We have 5 different A ratings scouted. B block shed. Bain's not known for his speed. He's known for his motor. I think I'm gonna do it. If we could trade down, that'd be nice, but I have to stick and make the pick. Ruben Bain is going to be an Arizona Cardinal, and let's hope to God it ends up being the best decision this franchise has ever made, and hopefully this sets this franchise up for success for these next 20 years. At least he's hyped to be here, it looks like. Really hope he can turn into a 15 sack a year player. He comes in Fourth in true value, drafted him at number 1. It honestly could have been a lot worse. Comes in A+ pick, and as long as he has hidden dev, boys, I think this was quite the banger. But unfortunately, boys, like I said, that's all I can do. I do want to skip ahead, see what the Raiders do. They took Mendoza just like they're going to do in real life, but now it is officially time to simulate to the end of the draft. And honestly, boys, this might be more important, the CPU making the draft picks, than me picking number 1. Because they can find some late round bangers here, boys. We could be cooking, but if they absolutely screw things up, that could set us back years. Oh, so here we have it, brother. Moment of truth. Okay, like, I guess not terrible, I suppose. Ruben Bain comes in 77 rated. Not bad at all. Absolutely going to start in year number 1. Denzel Boston, not a bad receiver in round 2. He's going to definitely come in as a number 3. Drew Aller as the 3rd round pick at quarterback, 69 overall. I'm probably not going to start him. It'd be a decent backup, I guess. We got another receiver. Then Charles Dimmings, I mean, be a good corner for us. But outside of that, dude, didn't get any good offensive linemen that we desperately needed. So I would say overall, probably like a B- draft. Which, let's see here. Oh my God, Dolphins. What a stinker. Ty Simpson, 68 rated. I mean, Arvell Reese could have been nice, but he's playing will linebacker in this franchise. Could have gone offensive line. David Bailey was a 76, so we did make the right pick for what we needed. Caleb Downs, highest rated at 79. Rest of the draft, I was looking for did Jeremiah Smith not go round 1? Hold the freaking phone. He didn't go into the 2nd round as an 82 rated to the Panthers. Got drafted 1 pick higher than his teammate in college, Jadarian Price. Oh my God, dude. The Panthers might have just made their best decision in franchise history. But as mentioned, boys, Ruben Bain is going to come in as our starting left edge. Hopefully can win Defensive Rookie of the Year for us this season, get that challenge out of the way. But outside of that, he looks like he's going to be the only rookie to really get playing time this season. But with that, boys, I have done all that I can do. It is time to simulate to the end of our first season and see if maybe we can win at least like 5 games this year, which I feel like is going to be hard given our quarterback situation. But as mentioned, boys, that is something that we can very easily fix next draft. I mean, to be completely honest, 7 wins is a lot better than what I anticipated. Now, to me, it's actually most important to see how Bain did. Our offense was pretty mid. Defensively, though, were we half decent? Oh, not really. I mean, Brissett wasn't bad at all, but we're still probably going to replace him. Yeah, running back's kind of an issue, but at the same time, I'm not going to be taking a running back number 1 anytime soon, so hopefully the CPU will draft a decent running back in like the 2nd and 3rd round. I mean, they could have got Jeremiah Love in the 2nd last year. Okay, now this is not what I expected at all. Denzel Boston, 70 grabs, 131 catches, 15 touchdowns. More yards than Marvin Harrison, more yards than Michael Wilson, more yards than Trey McBride. Now, the thing is, he might very well win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I can't get credit for that because he wasn't the number 1 pick. So at least the CPU did me decent there, getting Denzel Boston. Now, most importantly, Ruben Bain in his rookie season ended up actually not too shabby. 10 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, 93 tackles, 51 solo tackles. Didn't have, unfortunately, any fumbles or anything, but 10 sacks. Surely he's got to be good enough to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, right? Obviously, no MVP this season as it goes to Jordan Love. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Parker Washington, by the way. Denzel Boston comes in 6th, which is crazy. So whoever we draft at quarterback this upcoming draft, I mean, they might make a pretty good connection for the next decade, but most importantly here, let's see, Defensive Player of the Year goes to Abdul Carter. We did have, ooh, that's strange, Mac Wilson come in the top 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year does go to Denzel Boston, but again, I don't get credit for that. I feel like maybe I should, but I feel like that's cheating at the same time. As I said, would have been nice if we got Jeremiah Love in the 2nd round, but here we are, moment of truth. NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Ruben Bain. Let's go. Which, even though the team didn't have the best of seasons, at least we completed our first challenge. Now, I wonder what his overall got up to after just 1 season. After just 1 year, Ruben Bain is a superstar up to an 81 rated. So keep in mind, too, he's locked in as a Cardinal for the rest of his career. So he could end up being the best defensive player the Cardinals have ever had. I mean, I was a little worried passing up on quarterback for the first draft. I'm not going to lie, I feel validated in my decision here. And Denzel Boston, dude, he's up to an 82 rated. Is barely behind Michael Wilson. I mean, team's up to an 85 rated, 87 offense, 84 defense. Like, I'm not going to lie, even Drew Aller is up to a 75 overall. What in the world? Hold on a second. I feel like I feel like I gotta draft a quarterback over him. Why is Drew Aller Drake May? Hold on. What in the world? I have never seen a glitch like this in my entire life. Hold on a second, dude. Oh, I am so confused. I've never seen like this in Madden ever. What the heck? It says that he played 449 downs this year, but he didn't. He didn't play a snap. So is Drake May Drake May? Drake May is Drake May. So apparently Drew Allers is twin. Okay, so I know this is just kind of happened out of nowhere, but I'm not going to lie. I want to get rid of him. I know he's good, you know, as a 75 overall quarterback, but I'm just going to draft his replacement. I just don't want a Drake May clone. I promise you this is going to be the only thing I manually do this entire franchise. I got to get rid of him. I got to. There's just too much going on. We're getting some pretty good draft picks in return, not going to lie. And some good players, too. Like, I might just take this offer from the Vikings, bring in Ivan Pace. Yeah, let's do it. Let's trade the Drake May clone to the Vikings, bring in Ivan Pace, get some draft picks. Hopefully that never happens again. That was just strange. But what I want to do here is simulate the offseason and see if maybe Ruben Bain, after winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, can gain a Superstar X Factor, which he doesn't, but his teammate Mac Wilson up to Superstar. That free safety that I was talking crap about earlier, Taylor Dimerson, he's up to a star 77 rated. We got Denzel Boston all the way up to an 83 overall Superstar too. So like, man, we did pretty good our first draft. But now it's time to simulate through free agency and see if this time around our front office actually spends some of this money. I think we legitimately spent like $6 million. All we did was sign guys from our practice squad. Hey, it's all fine and dandy though. We re-signed Owen Popo. I told you guys, that's why it's so freaking important that we actually hit on every single one of our draft picks. Because the CPU is definitely not here to save us. Now let us see. The most up-to-date mock draft has us selecting Dante Moore over Arch Manning. You also got Jeremiah Smith there too. That's tough because, like, man, he could be such a good wide receiver for us the next 10, 15 years. But at the same time, dude, I think it's obvious we got to take quarterback. So our two options, Dante Moore, Arch Manning. It does say, though, Dante Moore is a top 5 talent, where Arch Manning is just a round 1 talent. So I think that does show us right there that Dante Moore is actually the higher rated quarterback, which is what we're probably looking for. Now, other first round quarterback options, got Jaden Maiava here out of USC. He's projected to go to the Browns. Says he's a round 1 to 2 talent, though, which means Dante Moore is better than him. God, there's just so many good players in this draft. Hopefully someone fall to the second round and we get lucky. Oh, Lenore Sellers here going to the Steelers, which he's also a round 1 talent, which means he's actually probably a little bit better of an overall than what Jordan Maiava is. Other quarterbacks in the first round, or is that it? Looks like that's it, but I think there is some good quarterbacks that will go in the second round too. So again, fellas, it's going to come down to Dante Moore or Arch Manning here, which I know Ruben Bain being our first #1 overall pick of the day was a big one, but this first pick here in the 2027 draft might actually end up being the most important decision in this franchise's history. But again, who do I take? I mean, God, dude, look at those key ratings for Dante Moore. They're all A's. I feel like he should be faster too. There's just no way Dante Moore is the 16th fastest quarterback in this draft class. I just refuse to believe that. But does it really matter? Because these ratings are ridiculous. Like, the only thing he's not good at is trucking, and like, who cares? Arch also has nothing but A's down there, and he is a little bit faster, but at the same time, I mean, that actually looks so good. But at the same time, I feel like I just can't look past the fact that it says right here, Arch is just a round 1 talent, and Dante Moore is specifically a top 5 talent. I feel like I have to do it, man. Dante Moore, hopefully, will be the future of this franchise and lead the Cardinals to their first ever Super Bowl. Just don't be a stinker. Let's see if we can, for the first time today, land the #1 overall player in the draft class. Dante, brother, we need 4, 5, 6 Super Bowls out of these next 20 years. Maybe he'll play as long as what Tom Brady did. This kind of the goal. At least give me 15 good seasons, brother. This moment of truth. 4 in true value for the 2nd straight season. Got him at #1. So I feel like that's pretty solid, dude. Also comes in hidden development. I mean, 84 speed's good. 94 throw power. I feel like we just landed ourselves a banger. Which with all our upcoming picks, again, all comes down to the CPU. And after this draft, I do want to compare what him and Arch Manning's overall are. I really hope that we got the better of the two, but who knows. All right, let's see the damage, boys. Dante Moore comes in as a 79 overall, and not gonna lie, it's not incredible or anything, but at least we got some decent depth in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. I feel like, though, we could have done a lot better because I feel like this is the most stacked draft class we'll see the entire day, but still, like, this guy could be a decent long-term will linebacker, although I know we did just get Ivan Pace, so that's kind of awkward. Like, we have Trey McBride, too, so I don't know what Garrett Oakley's going to do for us, but I guess it's okay. It's not bad. Most importantly, we nailed our pick for the 2nd time in 2 seasons, which I'm sure eventually we'll end up drafting a stinker. But as mentioned, boys, I did want to see Arch Manning goes to the Jets, and he's 3 overall lower. I didn't really expect that. But like, even if we did take him, it wouldn't have been a horrible decision. But at the end of the day, we got a quarterback 3 overall higher. And by the end of this first season, dude, maybe he can make it like an 85, 86 overall. I do unfortunately want to see what the CPU passed up on in the second round, as we did have apparently the first pick in the second round. Right there, dude. Had a 75 rated receiver, a bunch of good quarterbacks. We had a good edge that we could have taken. Oh, God. Could have had our Mike linebacker of the future. Could have had our running back of the future. Like I said, dude, I really hope eventually, man, the CPU drafts us a running back in the second round. Otherwise, eventually, if we're going to win a Super Bowl, I'm going to have to take a running back with the first pick, and that is just gross. Now, looking at our squad for the 2027 season, like, I think it's better, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we just won 7-8 games again. I don't expect to make the playoffs with how weak our offensive line is. Funny enough, one of those linemen at the CPU draft is going to start for us at a 70 rated. But again, I just don't see us really making the playoffs, although the offense is looking okay. And again, it's really all comes down to how much Dante Moore can progress his first season, hopefully quite a bit, because I'm really hoping he can be our franchise starter for the next 15 years at least. And defense, though, is where it gets a little tricky, because we do have some decent talent, but like the defensive tackle room is still pretty weak. Cornerback room is kind of mid, as is like the entire secondary. I'm just now noticing we have a superstar backup strong safety. That's odd. So at least we have somebody decent waiting in the wings once Buda Baker retires. But like, I mean, it's a team that maybe could shock some people, make the playoffs this season. But again, with how bad the offensive line is, I don't really expect it. I mean, honestly, I don't care what our record ends up being. As long as Dante Moore can win himself an Offensive Rookie of the Year, I will consider this season a massive, massive success. Okay, well, that went horribly wrong. I mean, it was bad, boys. It was horrible. But as bad as physically possible. Got shut out by the Rams 30-0. That's embarrassing. So apparently some rookie hiccups for Dante Moore. I'm kind of worried, though, that he's not going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year after just winning 4 games. I mean, it looks like we put up a decent amount of points. Oh, God, here we go. Offense, pretty freaking terrible. 25th in the league. Defense, about the same as last year. I mean, Dante Moore wasn't terrible. 3,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, 15 picks. I am worried, though, these 15 picks are too many to keep him from an Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now, even if he didn't win the award, I'm still hoping his overall progressed quite a bit. I do have to go check out how Arch Manning did. Okay. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. There's a relatively decent chance, boys, that we made the wrong decision. But hey, let's try to stay positive here. On the ground, Algier was fine. 13 grabs. Dante Moore had 3 tutties through the air. Denzel Boston, again, led the team. 987 yards, 14 touchdowns. Michael Wilson had 3 tutties, 913 yards. Marvin Harrison was fine. Trey McBride, expect a little bit more out of him. And most importantly, Ruben Bain on the defensive side of the football led the team, 14 sacks, literally doubled the production of Jordan Burch. What in the world happened to Josh Sweat this season? But here we are, boys. Moment of truth. Joe Burrow wins MVP. Hopefully, eventually, Dante Moore will be in this top 10, because if he doesn't win MVP, I don't feel like we'll ever have one. Cam Scatterboo wins Offensive Player of the Year. We had nobody in the top 10. Ooh, Ruben Bain didn't even get a top 10 MVP vote, which is strange with 14 sacks. But here we have it. Moment of truth. Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC goes to Dante Moore. Thank God. I will say it's kind of a Mickey Mouse award here, because if it was up to him and Arch Manning would have definitely won. At the end of the day, all that matters is he gets an Offensive Rookie of the Year under his belt. So 2 challenges completed in 2 seasons. Not too shabby. Hey, we even had that tight end that we drafted come top 10. Unfortunately, though, nobody that CPU drafted came top 10 in Defensive Rookie of the Year. But even more important than the Offensive Rookie of the Year award, Dante Moore, after season number 1, is all the way up to an 87 overall superstar. That is crazy. I mean, an 8 overall progression in just 1 season is nuts. I mean, he's already the 17th highest rated quarterback in the league, which is incredible. So again, guys, like, there's a chance within 3 or 4 seasons, this guy's a 99 rated. And surely at that point, he's got to win an MVP, right? Now, checking in on a few more players at the end of the season, that offensive lineman's up to a 74, so maybe he is a long-term option at the left guard position. Trey McBride's the first 99 rated of the day. That rookie's up to a 74. Marvin Harrison still an X factor at 88 overall. Denzel Boston up to an 87, so he should take over here as the team's number 2 receiver. Actually, no, takes over as the team's number 1 receiver. Now, defense, Ruben Bain, he's up to an 87 rated as well, so him and Dante Moore, overall-wise, are identical. Okay, hold on a second. This Demings guy apparently is a cornerback. Did he just go up like 10 overall in a season? What in the world? Like, who even is this guy? He was drafted in the 5th round a season ago. So like what is happening? I mean, if we're being honest, dude, him and Will Johnson can make for one of the best cornerback duos in the league. So like, I know a really disappointing season, especially for a team that's up to an 87 overall. But at the end of the day, even outside the 2 players that I drafted myself, we have a really young nucleus getting better and better every season to where maybe next year we could actually make the playoffs. Now, I'm holding out a little bit of hope here that either Dante Moore or Ruben Bain can grab an X Factor this offseason. Okay, unfortunately not for Dante Moore, but at least Trey McBride, well-deserved, gets his X Factor. Defensively, though, Ruben Bain stays at a superstar. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I genuinely have no idea what we should draft this season. Like, I'm assuming maybe an offensive tackle if there's a good enough one. I mean, maybe if there's a generational running back, we draft him as well. I really don't know what to do. I'll probably just take the highest rated player I think on the board. Now, I do have to say, boys, this is where the draft is going to start to get extremely, extremely tricky because these are the real life draft prospects we're supposed to see 3 years down the line. And I guess I don't have that much ball knowledge because outside of like maybe 5 to 10 players, I really don't know many of these guys because they're like freaking like 19 years old at this point in real life. So with the first 2 drafts, I knew all those players, you know, but it's going to get really tricky this draft because I have to do some real hardcore evaluation. Like there's good players like Malachi Tony I know. I just don't know how high rated he's going to be in this draft class. Which I will say, the latest mock draft has us going with that offensive tackle out of Oklahoma, and that would not be a bad pick at all for us because he could easily slide in as our starting right tackle. But looking at how the latest mock draft is going, boys, that really might be the move. There's a lot of defensive tackles. Jesus Christ, 4 in a row. So it's really just offensive line and D tackle projected to go in the top 10. So more than likely, left tackle is the route we're going to be taking. But first, fellas, let's see if for the first time in 3 years, our front office actually spends a little bit of cash in the offseason. Just sign 1-2 players with the pulse, and I'll be the happiest man on the planet. Okay, we actually spent like 20 mil. That's progress, at least. Please tell me we spent that on offensive linemen, and I'll be a happy boy. Got James Williams and Tevin Jenkins. Okay, he can at least start for us next season. James Williams is from my Tennessee Titans, and he signed for a pretty decent contract, so, like, I'm hoping he progressed quite a bit. I think he's like a 70 rated at the start of franchise, so maybe he's like an 80. I wouldn't be mad at that. So Tevin Jenkins comes in as an 80 rated. That's a lot better than we had last year. Oh, and James Williams comes in as the backup, so I guess we gave $30 million to a backup middle linebacker. But hey, dude, beggars can't be choosers. I'm just ecstatic that we signed somebody, but it is time to get serious again, boys. As mentioned, this is going to be our toughest decision of the day yet, and it's not even really close. Unfortunately, we didn't scout any of the offensive linemen, so I'm gonna have to sit here and do some due diligence. I may be taking one of these offensive tackles because there's just no guarantee that these guys are the best players in the draft. I do know this offensive guard out of Notre Dame, Charles. He's supposed to be a freaking generational guard. I don't know if he can play tackle, but I might even look at him, to be honest. Like, Michael looks okay. I mean, he actually has some really, really good ratings. David Sanders looks a little bit more athletic, but not necessarily as technical. I'm not gonna lie, Charles actually looks a little bit more my style here. Typically, when you have an offensive lineman that's top 3 strongest at his position, typically means he's one of the higher rated options. And with him being a projected first round pick, he might be generational, dude. I know he only has C lead block and C pass block finesse, but I just know this guy is one of the most hyped prospects out of this draft class. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know too much about these left tackles. It is just tough because Michael looks like he could be an absolute freaking beast, and he had the 7th most bench press reps at his pro day. He's just definitely not the most athletic. Because like when it comes to technical ability, I'd probably take Michael, but again, his physicals just don't look the greatest. So it really comes down to him or that offensive guard, who I'm assuming we probably could play at offensive tackle. He's definitely a lot stronger and looks like pretty good agility. Not the fastest, but I mean, not really gonna be the fastest guard when you're freaking 6'6", 330. I might do it. I genuinely might do it. Charles Jagusa? Oh, come on. Don't let me down, Charles. This is a tough one. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go against the consensus #1 player on the board, because I just have myself a sneaky suspicion here. He's a big boy. He's a big old beefy boy, and hopefully the pick pans out here. This is one where I could have screwed up big time, which is eventually going to happen in today's video. You can't hit on all of them, but I do have a sneaky suspicion this guy's about to be a banger. Charles comes in as the #1 rated player in true value. I genuinely didn't expect that. Got him at #1. He's going to come in with hidden development as well. I told you guys that bench press is a massive indicator of rating. So I am definitely quite a bit surprised that we ended up with the #1 player, but not completely shocked. I'm just happy. Successfully did my part again. Now it's up to the CPU to hopefully put together its best draft yet. Also interested to go see what that left tackle's overall is, because I'm assuming it's not that much lower rated than Charles. Let us see. Charles comes in as an 80 overall, and I'm not going to lie, I think this is the best draft we have seen from our CPU yet. I mean, I'm happy, obviously. Charles is the highest rated player I've drafted, but if we're going to win Super Bowls, we're going to have depth. And our front office and free agency is not providing that for us, so at least this year, they did so in the draft. They got ourselves a good backup quarterback, Drew Mestamaker. I'm a big Drew Mestamaker stan. Coming from North Texas, transferred to Oklahoma State. He's an incredible story if you guys don't know about him. Try to look him up. So I'm happy to have him as the backup, although I'm a little sad that he's never going to play. We got good D-tackle depth, good running back depth. Maybe Jordan Davison could be our long-term starter. We have a great Mike linebacker room now. I mean, what are the odds we drafted a guy named Madden? And also got ourselves a good free safety in fullback in the 7th round. Now let's go see if I did make the right decision here. We had, oh my god, his ratings looked way too good to be a 72 overall. Okay, so I definitely made the right pick there. As what a weird draft, though, as 6 out of top 10 prospects were freaking defensive tackles. How did Malachi Tony fall to the 2nd round? And how awesome would it have been if we could have drafted Bo Jackson? Oh, I might have made sure we started him at running back if we got him. That would have just been so sick, but not mad at all. Now, hopefully I'm not making a big mistake here, converting him to right tackle. Okay, apparently not, because he actually went up in overall, which means we start off next season as an 86 overall team with an 89 offense and 83 defense. If this offense can put together a good season, maybe for the first time today, we can actually make the playoffs. Which is important, man, because like in the next 15 seasons, we've somehow got to find a way to win 4 Super Bowls. I mean, surely this season we at least got to win more games than last year, right? Fellas, safe to say, that's quite the turnaround. How did this just happen? We didn't lose until week 9, barely lost to the Bills, barely lost to the Rams, as we were legitimately 7 points away from going undefeated. Okay, how in the world did we get here? This time around, finished with the NFL's #9 offense, defensively took a massive stride forward. Dante Moore, what an improvement from season #1. 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 6 picks. Probably not good enough for MVP, but good numbers nonetheless. On the ground, I mean, Ty Algier, dude, what a signing he's turned out to be. I mean, it was 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. He's up to an 85 rated, so he'll probably be here for a couple more seasons, although he doesn't have the awareness to turn the right way. This year's leading receiver, Marvin Harrison. Best year of his career by far, out of nowhere. 1,400 yards, 18 tutties. Trey McBride, good season. Best year we've seen from him yet. Denzel Boston, good season. Michael Wilson, okay. Now, defensively, let's see the main man. Ruben Bain actually went backwards a little bit. Nice to see Josh Sweat with a good season. Jordan Burch. And I think Ruben Bain's had double-digit sacks every season in his career, so you can't be mad at that. Now, what are the odds Dante Moore won MVP? Very slim. It goes to Joe Burrow. But at least for the first time today, he did find himself within the top 10. How in the world did I not win Coach of the Year after winning 15 games with a team that won 4 a season ago? Just give me more motivation to bring this team to their first ever Super Bowl this year. But seriously though, we won more games than the Giants, yet Brian Daboll wins Coach of the Year. That just doesn't make any sense. Parker Washington for the 2nd season wins Offensive Player of the Year over Marvin Harrison, by the way. Still no Defensive Player of the Years for us, although Josh Sweat did come in the top 10. Okay, Jordan Davidson. I don't even know who this guy is. He came in 2nd for Offensive Rookie of the Year voting, which is just funny. And Defensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC goes to Terrence Green. But as we start our first ever playoff run today as the 1 seed, by the way, let's go and see if we have a legitimate shot, which we should after winning 15 games. But we see the team's overall has gone up to an 88 with a 91 offense and 85 defense. Dude, Charles as a right tackle in his first season, up to an 85 rated superstar. Dante Moore is in the 90s already. Marvin Harrison up to a 91. Denzel Boston up to an 88. And Ruben Bain also almost in the 90s. And dude, I just want to know what the CPU is cooking up with this guy. This Demings fella, man, what a freaking beast. It is time to see, boys, if we truly have what it takes. Who do we get in the divisional round here? Falcons 9-8, no way. No way they beat us. Which, to be fair, we already played them and beat them in week 15, but it was pretty close. I just feel like there's absolutely zero chance after completing one of the biggest turnarounds in NFL history that we get knocked out by the 9-8 Falcons. No chance. To advance in the conference championship game, thank God. 2014, it was rather close. Now all we have to do, boys, is take down the Green Bay Packers, and we've brought the Cardinals to the Super Bowl. A little scared, though. Like, who do the Packers even have at this point? Oh, God, they got 99 rated Jordan Love, 99 overall Micah Parsons, Josh Jacobs still a beast, Xavier McKinney a monster, Matthew Golden's turned into one of the best receivers in the National Football League. Dude, this wide receiver room is stupid. Crash the nation over with. All there's left to do is click that simulation button, boys. This would be one of the most disappointing losses I've suffered in a long time, but hopefully we don't have to go through that emotional stress, because we are going to guarantee a win here and make it to our first Super Bowl of the day. Oh, thank God, dude. Oh my God, look at these conference championship games. We got past the Packers by 2. Joe Burrow and the Bengals got past the Patriots by 3, which at the end of the day leads to a 1 seed versus 1 seed Super Bowl. Oh my God, dude. It looks like we ended up kicking 3 field goals in the fourth quarter to literally win by 2. It's just crazy. Dante Moore, what a game. Picked off Jordan Love twice, which is probably the difference in the game here. Also, Dante Moore didn't get sacked once, which makes me feel extremely validated in drafting Charles. Very even games to the running backs. And Christian Watson went off, but thank God we got Marvin Harrison. Thank God for Michael Wilson, Denzel Boston. Funny enough, we had Ty Algier and our backup tight end with the 2 receiving touchdowns of the day. But can we do it one more time, boys? And that one more time coming against the 1 seed Bengals to get on the board with our first Super Bowl of the day. Let's talk about scouting teams. I want to see what the Bengals got going on at this point in time. Of course, they got 99 Jamar Chase. They got 99 Burrow. I mean, much like the Packers we just played, they got 3 receivers over 90 rated. Zachariah Brandt's up to a 91. I mean, they got some beasts on defense, too. I mean, Dylan Stewart, who they got in the second draft, is obviously turned into a monster. Jamar Stewart's a monster, so got themselves 2 good edge rushers, unfortunately. Telling you guys, the difference in this game is going to be which offensive line holds up the best. No pressure whatsoever, boys. It's just the fact that if we don't win our first Super Bowl here, we're going to be so far off from being on track to win 4 Super Bowls in 20 seasons. I have a feeling, boys, that the offensive fireworks are going to be on display here. All right, give me a fast start here, please, I beg. 7-0, we definitely take it. Not as many points as what I was anticipating. 10-0, though, we definitely take it. I don't care if it's 21-0, 10-0, 5,000 to 4,099. Win's a win. 21-14. Late on. 2-possession lead. That's a Super Bowl clinched, boys. Number 1 out of 4. It is about time. First time we make the playoffs and in the Super Bowl win. But you Cardinals fans, take it in. Soak it in. Your first Super Bowl in franchise history. But for the sake of my bank account, we better hope and pray that this definitely isn't the last. Final stat line here. Not as much action as what I thought from both quarterbacks, but Dante Moore at least protected the football, which Joe Burrow could not do. On the ground, Ty Algier a lot more effective than what Chase Brown was. This Jordan Davis is a guy, I told you, he has a very very good chance to be our running back of the future. Big game in the Super Bowl, 6 yards per carry and a touchdown. Did fumble once, though. Michael Wilson with a huge game. Yeah, only had 27 yards, but 2 touchdowns is huge. We are somehow able to limit the trio of T. Higgins, Zachariah Brandt, and held Jamar Chase to 1 grab. Wasn't pretty, boys, but a win is a win. And hopefully we can somehow, someway find a way to win 3 more. Now, surely, after that Super Bowl win, for the first time today, one of our number 1 overall picks will have gained himself a superstar X Factor. The scary thing is his offseason, boys, although we know they're probably not going to spend it all, still got $100 million to spend after winning 15 games. But on the X Factor front, it looks like Dante Moore stays superstar, Charles still a superstar, and defense, Ruben Bain still a superstar. So I don't know how we just went 15-2, won ourselves a Super Bowl and didn't gain an X Factor, but hey, dude, it's motivation to go back-to-back next year. Which, before we get to our next draft, let's see if somehow, some way, the front office surprises us, actually spend some of their money. Because at this point in franchise, dude, there's got to be some banger free agents out there. Well, fellas, no surprise at all. It just aggravates me because it's like, what's the point in holding on to all that money, dude? Like, we could be such a good team if the front office would actually do their freaking job. It's not even like we're re-signing anybody. It all comes down to us again, boys, which apparently, best player in the draft, Carter Meadows out of Michigan. Defensive end, which we don't necessarily need. We could take ourselves a good offensive tackle or another wide receiver. Because like when we break down the future of this franchise, which it looks like we lost Hajate Froholt, which now means we have a 74 rated center, which sucks. But outside of that, dude, pretty much everybody on offense is relatively young. Like, we definitely could like look to replace Tevin Jenkins. We still need to get ourselves a better long-term running back. But outside of that, we're okay. And defensively, it's like, oh, we did lose Josh Sweat. Why? Did he retire? No, so we lost Froholt, and we lost Josh Sweat to free agency, which actually really makes me mad. That actually really aggravates me, because again, brother, we legit, you just saw, we have $110 million. Why not re-sign 2 of our key starters when you have the money sitting there? Dumb, stupid game. So it's like, honestly, yeah, we do probably need to go edge or go offensive line here. And again, boys, in this 2029 NFL draft, pretty much every single player you see eligible here to pick are freshmen in college. So it's like my real life evaluation really doesn't come into play here. I gotta get lucky. So Carter Meadows here, speed rusher, looks pretty decent. Not the fastest speed rusher, definitely not the strongest. Has okay attributes. He doesn't look actually too exciting for a potential #1 pick. What about the other fella, Zion Ely out of Maryland? He looks a bit better. Definitely not the most athletic either, but his skills at least look better. So it's looking like Zion Ely is the move up to this point. Felix Ojo out of Texas Tech. He looks relatively athletic, not strong though, and that's pretty indicative of a lineman's overall, which is unfortunate. His ratings look okay. I mean, he's got 8 impact. Actually looks pretty good. But I think, in terms of this team's future, I think it's more important that we replace Josh Sweat with, I'm assuming, with Zion Ely. The only thing that just scares me is his archetype is speed rusher, but he's just like barely even top 20 with his 40-yard dash. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. He looks pretty good. Don't be a stinker. I mean, we're due for a stinker. It's just in the stars. But give me good news for the 4th straight year. He looks a little short, not gonna lie. He looks barely taller than Roger Goodell. Be honest though, he looks like a stud. Comes in 7th in true value, which I believe is the lowest we've drafted so far. But as long as he comes in with hidden development, we can hopefully turn this guy into a future All-Pro. But we really desperately need the CPU to draft ourselves a center here, and preferably our running back of the future, which it's just a bunch of mid, man. Like, we didn't need corner. We really didn't need another edge. We got 2 corners. So it looks like we'll be going into next season with a 74 overall starting center. All right, so it looks like we did make the right pick between the guys we were trying to decide upon. Carter Meadows only a 74. Felix Ojo 73. This Tristan Keys guy looks like a beast. I see, dude, there was a really good running back, which I guess we couldn't have got him in the 2nd round because we picked last. But there was a good one. Jonathan Hatton went to the Eagles, of course. He could have been a beast too. Which I don't know, boys. With Ty Algier starting to go down in overall, with the weakness on the interior of this offensive line, and with us now having to rely on a really young pass rusher, not to mention Budda Baker going down more and more in overall every season, I'm a little worried this team might not only not have what it takes to make it back to the Super Bowl, I would be shocked if we completely missed the playoffs. Regardless, here we go, boys. Let's see the damage. So I told you guys I had a feeling that there was going to be a dip, but at least we still made the playoffs. Don't know what happened because we started off the season pretty solid, only losing 2 out of the first 10 weeks. And it looks like pretty much every loss outside of the Rams and Titans were by 3 points or less. So that does give me some hope for the playoffs, because maybe some of these close losses that we had, we can turn those into W's. See, offense took a massive step backwards, so it doesn't really shock me at all, and the defense, same thing. Wasn't Dante Moore's fault though. 4,000 yards again, 32 tutties, only 5 picks with a perfect completion percentage. And I told you guys, I really feel like I'm gonna have to end up breaking down and drafting a running back with the first pick one year, because this is just 4 yards of carry is not gonna cut it. And obviously we can't rely on the front office to either draft a good running back or sign one, so I might have to end up biting the bullet and drafting one when I do find one I deem to be generational. But for now, I have to deal with Ty Algier for another season or so. Denzel Boston leads the team, 1,100 yards, 8 tutties. Michael Wilson had 13. Decent year from Marvin, decent year from Trey. And defensively, what happened this year? Ruben Bain, double-digit sacks, can't be mad at that. Look at Ivan Pace, our second best pass rusher, who unfortunately looks like Zion Ely didn't do too much. Only 1 sack all season long, only 15 tackles. That's kind of gross, which I'm assuming means he didn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year or anything. I mean, he's up to an 80 overall. It's just really weird why he didn't play much. He's like a freaking starting right edge. Now again, Dante Moore barely creeping on up there with MVP votes coming in 8th this season. And yet again, no Offensive Player of the Year, nor Defensive Player of the Year. I told you guys we should have drafted this running back. Savion Hitter wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, while Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Carson Crawford. But let's see if we can defeat the odds here, boys, and make it to our 2nd consecutive Super Bowl. As we're just going to sim it all the way through here. Come on, man, prove me wrong here. God dang it. We didn't get first rounded, but we did lose to the San Francisco 49ers, man. We gotta have a big offseason, or it might be a while before we can compete again. Maybe it would be different if we could actually spend this money, which at the end of the 2029 season, we again have no X factors. Looks like we also lost Tevin Jenkins, so we have to somehow find a way to replace 2 interior offensive linemen this offseason. We just know the front office won't do it through free agency. And unfortunately, it looks like we have no X factors on defense either. We did have Ely go up to superstar. We have Buda Baker as like a 45-year-old go back up to superstar. But man, we just for once in our lives need the freaking front office to spend money so we won't have so many needs going into the draft. I mean, $119 million just sitting there is just so crazy when you have so many needs that you can just easily fill. But I suppose here goes nothing. Yo, hold on a second. For the first time in 5 years, did we actually spend at least a little bit of money? We signed Emmanuel Pregnon to a 4-year, $50 million contract, Jermon McCoy, a new center, and a new Sam linebacker. It's like we only spent like 20% of our budget, but dude, beggars can't be choosers. Which should mean, at least for the meantime, we have the interior of the offensive line completely sorted. Oh, I just now realized Marvin Harrison lost his X factor. That's kind of depressing. So what in the world do we do with the first pick this year? So the latest mock draft, for some reason, has the Browns going first, which is just not the case, but it has them going defensive tackle. What I will say though, you know how I said earlier if there was a generational running back we might take him? Come on, Spell. I don't think I've ever seen a running back this high rated in a mock draft. I don't know if this is just a sucky draft class or he's actually a freaking beast, because he's like a 77 overall running back. I wouldn't want to take that, but maybe if he's like an 80, 81, I would absolutely pull the trigger. So we're going to have to do some hardcore scouting here. Which still, these guys are real life prospects, but I do believe at this point in time, they might all be seniors in high school. But let's do some scouting here. Come on, Spell out of Georgia. How good are you? Relatively fast. I mean, he ran a sub 4.4 at his pro day. Had the best 3 cone, so he has some decent agility to him. I mean, he looks good. A ball carrier vision, A break tackle, good carrying, good juke move. His stiff arm, his trucking kind of sucks, but it's just still, man, for him to be a running back projected in the top 5, he has got to be so good. I mean, the other option is defensive tackle, but we have Walter Nolan, so we don't necessarily need one. And you can always get good defensive tackles late in the draft, which I can't make the picks myself, but eventually I think the CP will get a sleeper defensive tackle. But here, he looks good, man. 41 reps of the bench press, relatively fast, nothing but A's. This is going to be tough, dude. This could be a generational defensive tackle, which we don't necessarily need. And this has the potential to be a generational running back, which we do desperately need. I think this is one kind of like last year where I just have to kind of pull the trigger. I just got to take what I feel like we need the most. Come on, Spell. Don't be a bust, I beg. We have yet to really draft a stinker up to this point in this challenge. Again, I know it's eventually going to happen, but hopefully not this year, especially when we need a running back so freaking bad. So hopefully this guy can turn out to be the best running back in franchise history, which he comes in number 2 in true value, got him at 1. I'm assuming that defensive tackle was a little bit higher rated than him, but I really don't care because with him being the second rated means he's probably quite the beast. Hidden development 2, I feel like this is quite easily another 10 out of 10 pick. I do wonder if he's like an 80 rated or not, because if he's like a 78, I still wouldn't be too impressed, but I guess we'll have to find that out at the end of the draft, which hopefully in these final 6 rounds, the computer can actually find a couple gems, which here we go, boys. Come on, Spell comes in 82 overall, an absolute banger. Got a good right tackle in the second round too. That's probably our best second round pick yet. Got a good young Mike linebacker, even though he kind of resembles a toe a little bit, maybe like an ogre as well a little bit too. Braden Booth, also pretty decent. So I'm not gonna lie, boys, I feel like this is probably our best draft yet. So that deep tackle was better than Come On Spell, dude. Was he like an 83 overall? No, he was also an 82. So I feel like we made the right pick. I gotta say, man, this next year's team is looking pretty nasty, especially if this running back can develop quite a bit in his rookie season. I mean, Dante Moore is up to a 95 overall, so he's at the point in his career where, like, I feel like he's good enough to win the MVP, which we desperately need. And defensively, boys, we better hope and pray that Ely here at right edge can have a better season than his rookie year, because if that's not the case, dude, we whipped out in that pick, we really might not be able to have ourselves a top 10 defense again. I mean, with an 89 overall team and a 92 offense and a relatively decent 87 defense, I feel like this team has a shot again to get a first round bye. Although I'll be content, you know, if we can just make it back to the playoffs. So not gonna lie, boys, that necessarily wasn't what I expected. I mean, overall wise, this is one of the best teams that we've ever had. So like, what happened? I mean, our our offense was up from last year, almost a top 10 unit. Defensively, we were top 5. How did we only win 8 games? Definitely wasn't Dante Moore's fault, as that's probably the best season of his career. 4,200 yards, 35 tutties, only 9 picks. Now, on the ground, Spell didn't have a great spell of a season. Did fumble 3 times as well. I mean, 1,000 yards for a rookie isn't bad. I mean, he's already up to an 88 rated, so hopefully puts up better numbers next year. But I do wonder if the struggling running game was the culprit this year. Through the air, we had Marvin Harrison with the best season I've ever seen in my life. 1,600 yards and 23 touchdowns, which should be best in the NFL in both those categories, and probably won Offensive Player of the Year, which we can't count that since we didn't draft him #1 overall. But Denzel Boston, good year. Michael Wilson, good year. I am a little disappointed in Trey McBride, though. Like, he's a 99 overall. I just feel like he should be producing a little bit better. Now, you do love to see this. Ruben Bain with a career best 15 sacks. Zion Ely, just took him a second year, to get going. 8 sacks on the season. Walter Nolan with 9. Maybe Ruben Bain could have won Defensive Player of the Year with those numbers. We definitely didn't have an MVP, although that's kind of funny. Drew Aller now with the Minnesota Vikings coming 5. That's a little disappointing. Dante Moore in 7. Marvin Harrison does win Offensive Player of the Year, but it doesn't count for me. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Abdul Carter, Ruben Bain in 2nd. Surely, though, he'll beat out Abdul Carter one of these seasons, right? We did at least have the Offensive Rookie of the Year for the 2nd time in this video, and Defensive of the Year goes to Jalen Hill. I suppose there's always next year, boys. Which, at the end of the season, that's the first time I've seen a big drop in salary cap. I wonder if we had to sign somebody to a big contract extension. Okay, this is what happened here, boys. A ton of contract extensions handed out this season, which I'm glad, even if they're not signing big free agents, I am very, very glad they're locking down our good talent. Walter Nolan comes back in a $75 million contract. Our left guard at the CPU draft got a $20 million deal. Marvin Harrison got $113 million over 4 years. This other will linebacker that the CPU drafted got $27 million. Harris Johnson going to protect for Dante Moore's blind side for at least the next 3 years, while James Williams, former Tennessee Titan, comes back in a 2-year, $17 million extension, which still gives us about $60 million to work with. Which, come on, it's about time for one of our big players to become an X Factor, which, okay, good news. Our quarterback became an X Factor. Marvin Harrison regained his, although it came at the expense of Trey McBride, who lost his X Factor. He's down to a 96 overall, because I'm assuming he's getting on up there in age. He's up to 31 years old, so he should still be one of the best tight ends in the league for another 4 years or so. Any big boys getting that X Factor on defense, maybe Ruben Bain, which he didn't, but at least the entire linebacker core superstars. Oh, Buda Baker must have retired. So, is this the offseason where we go crazy and draft a freaking safety #1 overall? I mean, ideally, the front office just signs one here with that $60 million they got left over. Oh, you just love to see it. End of free agency, and the budget didn't budge. Which I do want to say, this is going to be the final NFL draft where we actually have real-life players. After this year, it's going to be nothing but Madden auto-generator rookies, which actually kind of excites me a little bit, because at that point, there might be some crazy, 83, 84 rated generational players that we could pick up every single draft. Which, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty positive all the players available in this draft are juniors in high school right now, so that's interesting. The latest mock draft, it says Seahawks, has him going wide receiver Bryson Wright out of Miami. Which, I'm not going to lie, I might just take what the mock draft said and Bryson Wright. I know we already have 3 good receivers, but Michael Wilson's going to get worse every year. Bryson Wright could be his replacement, and more than likely, he could be the player that ends up winning Offensive Player of the Year for us. I mean, he looks good. 6'4", 215, incredible ratings, ran a 4.26 40-yard dash in his pro day. Okay, hold on a second. How do you run a 4.26 at 6'4"? That's crazy. I don't even think I'm going to look at anybody else. I'm going to take Bryson Wright, and I feel like he's going to be an absolute banger. 5 in true value, not too shabby, comes in hidden dev as well, although, how does he only have 91 speed? The guy legitimately ran a sub 4.3. Wait a minute. Is that not Emeka Egbuka? Dude, what are up with these draft classes? Why are they literal clones of real players? It's just weird. Don't care though. Bryson's going to be a beast for us. Which time for the big reveal? Bryson Wright comes in 78 overall. Not bad at all for the #1 pick in the draft. Got ourselves a pretty decent center, Hugh Smith, who looks like a toe in the 2nd round, 73 overall, so he could be our long-term center replacement. And after that, it was pretty mid until we got an okay running back in the 6th round who's not going to do anything for us. So, overall, this is probably a C+ draft. But, with the team coming in as a 90 overall, there's just absolutely no excuse for this squad not to make the playoffs this year. Let's see if here in 2031, we can actually somehow, some way, replicate our previous 15-2 season. Okay, not quite, but 13-4 in a first round bye will definitely do. Ooh, and a good 31-0 shellacking of the Seahawks week 18. Okay, this year the team comes in top 13 offense, not too shabby. Defense top 5 again. Dante Moore with another incredible season, although I don't know if it's MVP caliber. Now on the ground, massive improvement from our starting running back. Come on, Spell. On 300 attempts, had 1,300 yards, 6 touchdowns, which through the air, our leading receiver was our rookie, Bryson Wright, 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison, good year. Denzel Boston, decent year. And defensively, oh, it's about freaking time. Ruben Bain breakout. In his 5th season in the National Football League, there's just no way he picks up 22 sacks and doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, right? Behind him, Zion Ely, 10 sacks. These guys should make for a pretty dynamic duo over the next 10 years or so, which let us see MVP of the season goes to Joe Burrow for, the 15th time. Dante Moore still barely sneaking in that top 10. It's just impossible for me to win Coach of the Year. It's like the only thing that could make me feel better is if you subscribe. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Dontavian Wicks, like we all expected, with Parker Washington and John Mechie behind him. Bryson Wright, though, as a rookie, comes in 6th, which should mean does also win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we don't have anybody in the top 10. But importantly for today's challenge, NFC Defensive Player of the Year, Mr. Ruben Bain, which I think for the first time in 4 years completes us another challenge. Now let's see here if we can make it back to another Super Bowl. We got the Packers here. We're just going to simulate straight to the Super Bowl and hope to God we get ourselves some good news. Oh my God, we actually did it. And oh my God, it's the Bengals again. They're going to be trying so hard to get revenge. 13-4 versus 13-4. Oh my God, it was close too, boys. We got past the Packers by 4, past the Giants by 3. Now can we beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl for the 2nd time in 4 seasons? Which surely they can't have kept like their entire core, right? Like they all gotta be getting old. Jamar Chase still a 99, Joe Burrow still a 96, a 34-year-old. Shamar Stewart still a freaking monster, as is Zachariah Branch. Oh, I still have the 2 edge rushers, man, which scared me. It's like their entire front 7. Do they have Barrett Carter and Peyton Pierce? Even T. Higgins is still a 90. As we're just gonna simulate this bad boy right through, and let us hope we get ourselves our 2nd Super Bowl. Boys, it was a bloodbath. Massive 22-point win, as that's the 2nd time in 4 years we've beaten the Bengals in the Super Bowl to bring our total up to 2 for the day. And I've got to investigate how in the world we score 45 points in the Super Bowl, yet James Williams is the Super Bowl MVP. Because it's not like we outgained him by too much. We only had 3 more yards than him. Dante Moore with an absolute masterclass, showing Joe Burrow who the true MVP is. Oh, what a difference in the running game, dude. Literally quadrupled the output of Mark Fletcher. Now through the air, T. Higgins, led both teams with Marvin Harrison, the OG, 12 grabs for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dude, and no wonder, 13 total tackles, 2 interceptions with a tackle for loss, which I thought maybe he had a defensive touchdown, but still, I thought that's a pretty good performance with the 2 interceptions and 13 tackles. Still, in my opinion, I probably would have given it to either Marvin Harrison or the quarterback Dante Moore. But who cares about individual accolades when you win yourself another MVP? Which after our 2nd Super Bowl in 4 seasons, brother, that means we have got to add ourselves another X Factor, which doesn't look like it. Actually, Marvin Harrison lost his X Factor. What do you mean? And Trey McBride lost his superstar. What are we doing? Hold on. That rookie right up to an X Factor. That's not what I expected. Oh, and it is about time, brother. Ruben Bain, your newest X Factor, alongside Super Bowl MVP James Williams. So again, brother, the young nucleus of this team continues to get better and better, which I'm assuming we might be in the midst of the creation of a dynasty. All led by now member of the 99 Club, quarterback Dante Moore. Which is like, with how stacked this team is up to a 91 rating with a 95 offense, I genuinely have zero idea what we even try and draft next. Which the latest mock draft has us going defensive tackle, which I wouldn't necessarily object to. I mean, we mainly need a safety, but as you see, no real safeties projected to go top half of the first round, and honestly, not one in the first round at all. Actually, Dennis Gore. There's just no chance a safety named Dennis is good enough to be the #1 overall pick. But again, the scary thing is, boys, we still have $65 million to work with. So if our front office actually wants to work for once, this team could be potentially so nasty going into next year. I mean, I think we literally spent like $5 million, so that's not too promising. We ended up locking down Adrees is Farouk. There's just no way that's a real last name. That's just not a real name in general. How good is he, though? Can we just not even have to worry about drafting Dennis? I mean, he's an 81 rated. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Now, I'm not going to lie, boys. For the second consecutive year, I think I'm going to be boring. Keep in mind, this is the first year where we don't have real players. And I think the smart thing to do is just go with the top guy from the mock draft, because there's nobody else I'm too interested in or nobody else that I really need outside of safety. Kari Seymour. He is uber fast, 4.7 40 for a huge defensive tackle coming in at, what is he, 6'3", 285? I mean, his ratings look nasty, boys. This guy could be a freaking monster. But again, I feel like we're due for a stinker, but hopefully not today. Let's see. We can judge by his walkout. Looks like he's got a little bit of confidence. Also looks like he just came straight from a vending machine. As long as he's a high overall, boys, I could care less of what his looks are. Seymour is going to come in as the #1 player in the entire draft. Coming in, hidden development, 81 speed, 89 strength. This guy could be nasty. And let's see what the CPU's got up their sleeve here, man. Like, imagine we're able to stack on top of that guy some mid to late round gems here. Okay, we don't have to talk about it. That's actually the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, if Kari didn't come in as an 81 rated, this really might have been one of the worst drafts of all time. But I suppose this big beefy boy makes up for it. There's just no way there wasn't better options for the CPU to take the rest of the draft. Oh my god, there's a freaking generational receiver in the 3rd round. Oh, all these other defensive tackles. We could have just not even taken him as a #1 pick and gotten Marquise Kendricks or Brian Fernandez in the 6th round. Like, what are we doing? There was a potential Trey McBride replacement too. There was a generational beast guard in the 7th round. Our front office is a bunch of alcoholics, brother. But despite the rather terrible and useless offseason, I still think this team is talented enough to go on another run this year. At the same time, though, I don't know why. I just got like a really bad feeling this is going to be one of those years we win like 6 or 7 games. Hey, 12-5, even with no first round bye, we take it. But surely we don't get first rounded by an 8-9 Giants team, right? Okay, huge jump in the offense this year, which I think is the best finish we've had yet. And defensively, coming in #1. Doesn't get too much better than that. Okay, modest numbers from Dante Moore. 3,800 yards, 25 tutties, 8 picks. I'm assuming most of the production came from the running back position, which it did. Come on, Spell. I told you it was worth it. Taking a running back, #1 overall. 1,454 yards, 5 yards per carry, 15 touchdowns, and just 1 fumble. Might be good enough to win ourselves an Offensive Player of the Year, which through the air, Marvin Harrison led us again. Bryson Wright went backwards a little bit from his rookie season, but that's still a great year. Denzel Boston, good numbers. Trey McBride is falling off a little bit, but it's still respectable. Now, what about Ruben Bain this season? It actually looks like he went backwards a little bit, but Zion Ely with the best season of his career. I mean, I'm ecstatic at these numbers, especially when you consider how he performed his rookie year. I was scared that was my first bust I selected. So with him, Walter Nolan, and Ruben Bain, dude, I feel like this team has a chance to be the #1 defense in the National Football League for years to come. And I do have to say, a little disappointing from a #1 pick, Kari Seymour. 3 sacks, only 28 tackles. I mean, the reason being he's playing behind Walter Nolan, which kind of sucks for him. But like, at the end of the day, dude, he's still a good player. Now, let us see. MVP goes to Brendan Sorsby. The first time in a long time had Dante Moore not even get a single top 10 MVP vote. Still just impossible for me to win Coach of the Year. And here you have it. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Khalil Shakir. Parker, like, what's Parker Washington's deal? With his incredible season, dude, come on, Spell comes all the way down in 6. And Zion Ely, unfortunately robbed of Defensive Player of the Year this season. So, unfortunately, no individual accolades for your boy. But time to see it for the first time today. We can make it to back-to-back Super Bowls. Hopefully, anyway. Boo! I mean, at least we didn't get first rounded by a 10-win team, but we did get knocked out by the 1 seed. Gotta see what happened here. I mean, like, our offense was fine. Oh, we let him get the Dante Moore too often. I'm assuming because we have a rather mid-center. But still, dude, it's like having a 94 overall team. It's just like we should be making it past the 2nd round. But with us now having 3 X Factors on offense, and I believe 2... Oh, we lost X Factors on defense, although Seymour ended up with an X Factor somehow. Like, weird game, strange game. But like, with the talent that we have in this team, man, if we keep adding these first round picks for the next 10 years, I legit feel like we could end up with 10 Super Bowls. Okay, hold on a second, boys. At the end of free agency, it looks like we actually spent about $40 million somehow. I don't know if that was on free agents, on contract extensions, ideally free agents, because we definitely had some holes to fill. Okay, so all practice squad players, I'm assuming we give out some big extensions, which we didn't. So where did our money go? We literally lost $40 million for nothing. Which it looks like for the second straight year, nothing but defensive tackles at the top of the draft. If for some reason Madden draft classes are infatuated with the defensive tackle position, but I definitely need to not take D tackle for the second straight year. And it's just the top 10's filled with nothing but D tackles, dude. Literally like 6 D tackles in the top 10. So like our other options are Owen Sweet, which we don't need because we have 2 great edge rushers. We could use left tackle. Definitely don't need another wide receiver. So this might be one of those that are like kind of interesting. Like maybe I just go cornerback. Maybe I get my future Trey McBride replacement. This one's going to be tough, boys. This might actually be the toughest draft pick yet. Like, maybe we just go center. Get Kendall Pollard. Which, let's see. It does look like quite the stacked center class. Okay, off the rip, this Kendall Pollard guy looks phenomenal. Literally, every single rating we have scouted is an A. Like, you can't get any better than that. A.J. Allen above him is the strongest, but has some B's in there. Trey Childs, he looks like he had the best all-around combine, so this isn't making it any easier for me. But he does have a C in there with a couple B's. So literally, I don't think I go wrong with any of these 3 centers. It's just like, do I want to go with center? Another one was the tight end guy I was looking at. I don't think it was I think it was Peter Forbes I was looking at. And a pretty good combine, not too shabby, and literally everything. Oh my God, dude. A break tackle, A catching traffic, A catching, B pass block. So an incredible pass blocking tight end. And literally, like, his ratings can't get any better than that. Oh, God. Okay, so Peter Forbes is definitely an option. I mean, Bobby Anthony at left tackle looks good, too, although he does have some C's in there. Do I go with center? I feel like that's the biggest position of need. We still have Trey McBride for a couple seasons. I mean, Kendall Pollard didn't have the best combine, although it's pretty good overall. He just looks so good, dude. A's across the board. Stamina, who cares about that? And we do need a long-term starting center. Oh, I don't know how you pick against this guy, dude. A's across the board. We're taking a center. Number 1 overall in the 2033 NFL Draft. Again, same vest as last year's defensive tackle, which he was an 80+ overall, so maybe that's indicative of this fella. At this point in franchise mode, this very well might be Tony Pollard's son. He is going to come in as that's actually so funny, the number 1 ranked player in the entire class, and he was literally projected to go, like, what, 20 in the mock draft? Oh my God, so lucky, boys. Hidden development as well. Center just so happened to be a big position of need for us, one of the biggest position of needs on the entire team. Found Kendall Pollard, wasn't too difficult of a choice to draft him because he had nothing but A's. And you best believe, boys, I'm glad I did. Now, the vibes are extremely high, but you best believe those vibes are going to be killed immediately if the CPU has a repeat of last year's draft, which let's see here. Okay, that's just so bad, dude. Oh, like Kendall Pollard. That's, I think, the highest rated player we've drafted all day. But outside of that, it is diabolical. Oh, and that's so funny, too. Peter Forbes was a freaking monster. So you couldn't really have gone wrong. But where we did go wrong was our CPU picks. There was so many good players they could have possibly taken. Like, there's a free safety that we desperately needed, was just sitting there with our 2nd round pick. But nah, dude, they went with a bunch of 60s. I mean, again, boys, we start this season as a 93 overall team, 96 offense. Like, we gotta be Super Bowl favorites, right? I do think this is gonna get to the point, though, where we get to a draft where we have to take a safety with the number 1 pick, because it is by far our biggest position of need in the entire team. Although it's not terrible, but just like obviously a big eyesore. But in the meantime, can we add Super Bowl number 3, please? All right, I guess you can't be mad at another 12-5 season, although I was kind of expecting a 1st round bye, which apparently we only missed out on because of a dumb tiebreaker. Okay, for some reason, the offense continues to go backwards, all while the defense is still number 1. Dante Moore continues to be efficient. I mean, only throwing 4 interceptions, but again, for some reason, like, his numbers continue to go down a little bit. Big reason why, I suppose, is the emergence of Kamon Spell, 4.9 yards per carry for a 2nd straight year, although those 7 fumbles are absolutely diabolical. Bryson Wright leads the team for the 2nd time in 3 years, 1,000 yards, 7 tutties. And defensively, Walter Nolan, Ruben Bain, 11 sacks or more. Kari Seymour apparently this year getting some playing time, almost double-digit sacks, while Zion Ely went quite a bit backwards. It's like 11 sacks less than a year ago. Unfortunately, again, still no MVP, still no Coach of the Year, and still no Offensive Player of the Year because Parker Washington wins it literally every single season of his life. Hold on, I gotta see this. I gotta see what's going on here. I mean, that's not even that crazy. I mean, what in the world has gotten to Parker freaking Washington? This is ridiculous. Now, before we start our playoff run, I do want to see if that center is up to an 86 overall superstar. Now, let's do it, boys. The Rams knocked us out last year. Hopefully this season we get revenge, win this first round game, and make it all the way back to the Super Bowl, which we don't. Which at least I suppose we didn't get first round, but it doesn't make it any better that we lost to a division rival in the next round. Would you look at the seeds that made it to the Super Bowl? Which another season where we didn't gain any X factors, but it does look like, boys, we lost a pretty big addition as Trey McBride has apparently retired, which now makes me wish we would have drafted that rookie tight end last year. Any improvement on defense, though? Oh my god, dude, Ruben Bain, everybody's losing their stuff. Ely, Ruben Bain, now all the way down to a star, which Ruben Bain was once an X Factor just a couple seasons ago. And even Marvin Harrison lost his superstar. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Which I guess Ruben Bain is 30, which is kind of crazy, boys. We have made it to the point where our first overall pick is starting to go down in overall every season. But again, this offseason with about $50 million just sitting there, I would really, really love if the front office would just sign the best available tight end so I don't have to worry about drafting one with the number 1 overall pick. Which again, $30 million just randomly disappeared, and apparently the top story is saying that A.J. Woodson, the quarterback, should be the number 1 pick, which is just absolutely not going to happen. But can we please this year have signed some free agents, and hopefully that money just didn't disappear like it did a year ago. We ended up re-signing Paris Johnson. Oh, that's not free agency, so at least we brought him back. That's probably where all that money went, though. Oh, God. If he's getting to where he's getting 1-year contract extensions, we might need to draft his replacement. Yeah, we didn't sign anybody at all out of free agency. All that money went to our left tackle, which should be the case. That might very well make our draft decision that much easier because it already has us projected to go Jimmy Esquivel. I mean, we also could maybe use a cornerback. There's probably not a safety that's too high of a draft pick. And Enrique Reyes, though, tight end, we could possibly use Trey McBride's replacement. Oh, and there is a decent safety, Will Madden of all names. So I really probably have 3 different positions. Maybe also Andrew Higgins I need to look at. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably just gonna go best left tackle. I don't necessarily have to go the guy that was projected to go number 1, which was Jimmy here out of Oklahoma, 6'5", 318. Comes in with, okay physicals. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. C. Lee block's not good. Looks like a good pass blocker, but his run block looks garbage. Is there anybody better? Okay, Tavares Young here looks a little bit better out of Notre Dame. 6'7", 328. Much better combine, a lot stronger. His awareness is an A. I mean, he has some C's too. Now, there's an insane-looking guard here in Ryan Lewis who has nothing but A's and just 1 B. I could draft him and convert him to left tackle if I think he's a higher rated, but I think this is tough. I think I'm actually going to go with Tavares Young. I don't think he's going to be like a world beater or anything. The tackles normally aren't, but I think after a year he could develop while Paris Johnson stays alive for us. Maybe by the time Paris Johnson retires, Tavares Young could be a half-decent replacement. I just do, unfortunately, feel like we're due for an extremely bad stinker, and that's not a good thing when we're having so many positions of need pop up because of players retiring or getting close to retiring. But again, he's got a swagged out baby blue suit, so that might mean something half decent. He does have a receding hairline, which is never good for a guy coming out of college. But he is going to come in as a whopping number 11 in true value. Got him at 1. So, like, it could have been worse. He does have hidden dev, which isn't terrible. But I am going to be a little upset if I go back and some of the other offensive linemen were better choices. But you know what I'm ready for? I'm ready for the freaking CPU for the first time in 2 years to draft a single player that's 70 overall or above. I'm tired of the trash. I'm tired of the garbage. Oh my god. So, for the first time in a long time, the CPU actually helps us out desperately. Enrique Reyes, our 2nd round pick, comes in as what I assume to be our Trey McBride replacement. I mean, so much for our Tavares Young, who's actually pretty decent, 77 overall left tackle as our first pick, but this guy is who I'm more excited about because the CPU actually helped me out for once. I mean, yeah, the rest of the draft was absolutely catastrophic, but with the first 2 picks, I still feel like that's a good, maybe B+ draft. Which, oh, thank God. Jimmy Esquivel, who was supposed to be the number 1 pick, was a 73 overall, so I'm glad I didn't do that. Yeah, Dominique Becton was a 74. Okay, that left guard was at 82 rated, so that would have been nice to draft him, but I'm not too mad, you know, taking our nice little 77 rated left tackle to be our long-term Paris Johnson replacement. Oh God, headed into next season, boys, I just realized we never got ourselves a strong safety. We have to go into the season with a 66 overall starting for us. Oh, I was about to say, I feel like we're due for a crazy 1-seed season again, but not with the 66 overall starting for us. Who knows, man? I suppose this team has shocked me before. Okay, 13-4, not bad at all. It's just a little unfortunate we didn't get the first round bye, all because the Panthers went off this season for some reason. Okay, there we go. Big improvement from the offense this year, coming in second in the National Football League. Defensively, coming in 6th. Still very good numbers for Dante Moore, who I really don't think's had a bad season outside of maybe his rookie year. 4,200 yards, 33 tutties, 7 picks with a perfect completion percentage. On the ground, another great year from Command Spell. 17 touchdowns, only 1 fumble, which is definitely better than the 7 from a year ago. He's just getting so many carries, dude. 311 carries is crazy. Like, I really wonder what kind of numbers Dante Moore could put up at quarterback if they actually threw the ball more than just 530 times a season. Which still, I'm glad to know Command Spell is really good fit in this offense. Now, through the air, have Bryson Wright hold on a second, boys. His best season of his career, 101 grabs, 1,463 yards, and 18 touchdowns. Just wonder if this is good enough for us to earn our first Offensive Player of the Year of the challenge. For all we know, Parker Washington won it again. We'll have to see. I mean, maybe it's time for Paris Johnson to leave us. Led the team with 12 sacks allowed. But look at our rookie, only 6 sacks allowed. Now, defensively, I see some improvement across the board. Ruben Bain, 14 sacks. Zion Ely again, double-digit sacks with 12. And then Seymour, 10. Come on, Dante Moore, MVP or not? Did come in the top 5, though, for the first time in his career, so that is very, very promising. Oh, this is just still so gross, dude. It's just not in the cards. But how about NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Parker Washington? This guy is the bane of my existence, dudes. Bryson Wright in 3rd. Eventually, though, one day, right? One day. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Jalen Carter. We did have Enrique Reyes, our tight end, 2nd-round pick, win Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is a good omen. Fortunately, nobody top 10 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Which, let's check out a few things before we get into the playoff run here. We had that young left tackle up to an 81 rated, so if Paris Johnson does leave us this offseason for one reason or another, we have Young waiting in the wings. Then Enrique Reyes up to an 82 rated, not bad at all. Now with Dante Moore and Spell both being members of the 99 Club, we're just waiting on Bryson Wright now. Which, hey, moving on to the defense, at least that safety is up to a 73 rated, which I still would love to improve upon this offseason. Let's make sure here we don't get first rounded. That would be depressing, you know, after winning 13 games, and we didn't. 1 by 10. Maybe going game by game is the move here. Now it's got to get past the 10-7 Lions. We have a 3 overall team advantage here, and we won again by 3 points. Now, all we have to do is take down the 1-seed Panthers in Carolina. What you do want to see, we unfortunately did play them week 16, lost by 3. Don't like that, don't like it at all. Which there's no way at this point in time they still have Bryce Young at quarterback, right? There's just no chance. They have Jeremiah Love still at a 99 overall. Kenyon Sadiq is a monster. Ted McMillan still a beast. Ooh, that Felix Ojo guy has turned into one of the best left tackles in football, so maybe I should have drafted him. At quarterback, they have Bryce Underwood. Interesting. They had a loaded quarterback room, dude. My God. Wait, they took this guy in the first round last year, and they had Bryce Underwood at quarterback. What a weird, strange game. But with that said, boys, it is time to simulate the Super Bowl and hope to God we do not get beat by Bryce Underwood here. We have like a 5 overall advantage. Looking for revenge for that regular season loss, and we didn't beat them, unfortunately. Oh, we got beat by 11, dude. That's depressing. Because with all the holes that we have in this team, man, it's just like not a guarantee that we continue to be as dominant as we've been. We got to grab these Super Bowl wins. We have the chance. It's not like Dante Moore didn't have a good game. It's for whatever reason we couldn't get to the quarterback. Didn't get 1 sack all game long, even though we had one of the best pass rush duos in the league. No shocker, Jeremiah Love outgained Command Spell through the air. Bryson Wright, I mean, had the game of his life, but just, I don't know, man, came up a little bit short. To have a bad feeling we're going to lose a couple more players this offseason to create even more holes for us to fill. Which is not a shocker here, as we prepared for it last offseason. Paris Johnson calls it quits after 12 years, which luckily we had Young here just waiting in the wings to take over. We just need to hope he can just develop into half the offensive tackle Paris Johnson was. I mean, the team's still solid, although we really don't have any OGs left. I mean, the only OG, Marvin Harrison, crashing all the way down to an 83 rated. And defensively, somehow somehow he picked up another X Factor as Biles is up to an 87 overall X Factor. Somehow James Williams, even though he's a 78 rated, not even a starter, still an X Factor. Still feel a little offended, you know, that Ruben Bain and Ely aren't X Factors anymore, not even superstars, but hey, maybe they'll break out next season, gain it back after picking up 20 sacks each. Again, boys, I know we have 90 mil to spend, but you know how it goes. Don't expect the front office to do anything, which I don't understand. Like, why? Can somebody tell me why that happens? You have 90 mil to spend, and you can make the team better. Like, we're trying to win Super Bowls here. Stupid! Which who am I supposed to take here? Jacob Hardy, another defensive end. Well, I guess Ruben Bain is getting to the end of his career, but like we also could use a long-term cornerback because I mean we have like 4 years of Ruben Bain left, probably at least 3. We really don't need another wide receiver too desperately. Don't need defensive tackle either. We probably, it looks like a good cornerback class. Maybe we go corner. Now, keep in mind, boys, this is our 10th first overall selection we've made of the day and have 10 more to go. Still have 2 more Super Bowls and a ton of awards we have to win. And this pick right here, boys, is rather important in our quest of winning another 2 Super Bowls, at least. A bunch of quarterbacks at the top of this draft. Like I said, Jacob Hardy is who we're supposed to take here, but right off the rip, dude, those key ratings look horrible. I mean, he's fast, dude, but that's like a pretty big combine, too, and it doesn't really make up for these garbage attributes. He's probably not bad, but like definitely not #1 pick worthy when you already got Ruben Bain. So like I said, I'm thinking about looking at cornerback since it does look like a really good cornerback class. But the problem is cornerback is typically the hardest position to scout. Which right off the rip, Justin Spence doesn't look too bad. A bunch of B's down there. Didn't have, actually had a really mid combine. I mean, his man is a B, his zone is a B, so he's not terrible. He could be a fallback option. Kirk Downs here had a much better overall combine. He came in with A-man coverage, B zone, so that A-man coverage is a big indication. It's probably a higher overall, to be honest with you, because if a cornerback has A, either man or zone, they're typically pretty good. So Kirk Downs is probably the leader right now. About Jalen Upshaw here. He, a little bit worse of a combine. It's not actually that bad of a combine. And a bunch of C's, B-man, B-zone. So I think, honestly, more than likely, the move is Kirk Downs here. 5'11", 184, so a little undersized, but I mean, it's just crazy taking a cornerback with the #1 pick. I mean, this should be like prime time freaking Darrelle Revis, but it's probably not going to be. But I still think he should be a solid starter for the next 10 to 15 seasons. Kirk Downs, don't let me down. We have yet to pick a stinker up to this point. The worst player we've taken is the 11th best overall player in the draft. So hopefully the trend can continue here. Why do they all have pink suits? Which I suppose the pink suits haven't been too bad to me. Caleb Downs' brother is the selection, and he comes in as the 5th best player. We get him a 1. Not too bad, especially when you consider you're taking the cornerback here. Hidden Dev as well, 94 speed. In my opinion, another banger pick and maybe the Cardinals' next Patrick Peterson. I know we got lucky last year with the CPU drafting our Trey McBride replacement in the 2nd round, but why can't a man ask for 2 straight bangers in 2 straight drafts? I want another generational player here on day 2. Please give it to me, CPU. Oh my god. Like, there is just no way our scouting department is this bad. Like, what's the point? What's the point in taking 3 mid-edges? They're all probably going to get cut. And I just know I'm going to be so upset when I check this. There is a freaking 80 overall cornerback in the 5th round. What are we doing? Oh, I hate it. I hate it all. Oh god, boys. I just discovered we have a 69 overall starting at right guard. Like, I just don't understand why we didn't re-sign our current starter, dude. We have, like, what was it, $90 million? So why are we not re-signing him, or at least signing a better replacement, and instead we're throwing out freaking 69 overall Cronin? Oh, it doesn't get me too hyped up for the new season. And I just realized as well that we lost Marvin Harrison. We got Carpenter stepping in as our 3rd receiver, so hopefully he's not bad. So honestly, it would be the worst decision probably to draft a wide receiver next year if given the opportunity. We probably also have to draft a better guard. There's just so many holes fill up when your freaking front office doesn't replace players leaving. Like, if you just spend some of that freaking money, dude, it wouldn't be that big of an issue. But like, at the end of the day, we are still a 90 overall team. Where did Farouk come back from? Oh, I have so many questions. I have so many questions about this lineup. But at the end of the day, I'm just hoping we can still compete. Like, a 90 overall is still solid. It's probably the worst overall team we've had in a hot minute. Which, like I said, we should still be making the playoffs. But at the same time, would not be shocked if we had a stinker of a season. Because I feel like we're due. All right. Well, a 13-4 first round bye season's not too shabby. Now, how in the world did we pull this off? Somehow did with a very, very mid offense. Defensively, it's invisible. I don't know what that means sometimes. I wish one of the Madden devs would tell me why sometimes that's invisible. Makes no sense. That's actually the worst defensive season we've probably had since the 3rd or 4th year. Let's investigate. All right, Dante Moore, probably the best season we've seen from him in a long time. 3,800 yards, 43 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. I feel like the most touchdowns he ever thrown for. A problem is, that's typically an MVP caliber season, but he didn't throw for enough yards. If this was 4,400 yards, he might have really won MVP. But on the ground, come on, Spell, that's actually probably the worst season we've seen from him in a hot minute, although it's still solid. Through the air, Bryson Wright gives me a little bit of hope here, boys. 1,351 yards, but it's that 23 touchdown total that might be what it takes to win our first Offensive Player of the Year. Now, defensively, all right, we had Mr. Zion Ely with a career-high 17 sacks. Ruben Bain is starting to go backwards a little bit. He might be a little washed at this point, but still productive. Which, let's see if we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. MVP goes to Dante Moore. Let's go. I genuinely didn't think it was possible with sub 4,000 yards, but it is about time. 10 seasons in, we win ourselves our first MVP. Now, the only question is, did we also knock off the Offensive Player of the War challenge at the same time? Did we win Coach of the Year? It's literally impossible. Genuinely suck my dick. Now, here we have it. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Bryson Wright. It is about time. Another challenge complete, which this definitely has the potential to become the best season of the video yet, especially if you win the Super Bowl here. Let's do it, boys. With that first round bye, let's go ahead and simulate this bad boy all the way to the Super Bowl, which we actually made it, boys. We actually made it for the 3rd time today, which we have yet to lose a Super Bowl. Holy crap, dude. But the skin of our shaft here by a single point got past the Falcons, even though we only put up 217 yards of offense. Squeaked past the Bears by 3, now to take on the 3-seed Dolphins. Who the heck do they have at this point? Robert Jaramillo is obviously a monster. Kenneth Grant's still over there killing interior offensive linemen. Got some beast youngsters, John Meredith and Antoine Morrison. I mean, just a bunch of randoms outside of Chop Robinson, but they've all turned into quite the beast. Carter Meadows, the defensive end that I almost took maybe 6 years ago, he's turned into quite the beast. So even if I would have drafted him, it wouldn't have turned out too bad. They also got Kalen Bullock over here still killing it, and Jimmy Ruiz, beast tight end. Well, they got Cam Coleman as well, who's turned into maybe not the absolute superstar that we expected. Oh my God, have him and Mekhi Lemon. What a weird wide receiver room. They had this 99 overall beast, 5'9", by the way, with double me, Cam Coleman and Mekhi Lemon. That right there, my friends, is how you end up, making the Super Bowl. But can we beat them is the question. I wanted to see, we unfortunately did not play them in the regular season. It always gives me confidence if we didn't beat them already, but I have absolutely no idea what to expect here. Can we win Super Bowl number 3 in season number 10? Let it rip, boys. At the end of the day, we do get the win, 27-24, once again by the skins of our shaft. Oh my God, dude, what a historic Super Bowl run here. Don't know how we got it done. They outgained us again. I mean, we just know how to win, I suppose. Dante Moore outplays Antoine Morrison, although their running back outplayed Kamon Spell. Bryson Wright, you dog, showing that the voters made the right choice with their Offensive Player of the Year votes. 107 yards on 7 grabs and 3 touchdowns, and Denzel Boston in his 10th year still balling out. Now, surely after that playoff performance, we had to have gained a couple extra X factors, right? Offensively, no, but we do now have 399 overall skill position players, which is insane. We did add, I believe, Reyes as a superstar, so 3 X factors and 3 superstars on the same exact offense. Come on, defensively, surely we didn't gain anybody. How does Ely put up 17 sacks and not gain a superstar? But hey, at least our young cornerback Downs is up to an 86 rated superstar. That's not bad at all. I just completely neglected his rookie season. I don't even know what he did. Up to 86 rated, so obviously progressed quite a bit. 77 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, no interception or anything, 9 pass deflections, so apparently rather efficient. There's just no way I don't end up winning one more Super Bowl at least the next 10 seasons, right? Like, my team is too stacked, and we're going to keep on building here. Which, by building, I think we all know by now, I don't mean through free agency, even though we have $80 million. I told you so. Now, another year, another mock draft, another season where it has us taking the edge with the number 1 pick. Tim Brown out of Kansas Kansas, although I don't know if that's really what I want to go this year. I'm just hoping one of these seasons there's a safety that's projected to be taken like the top 15 picks. That is extremely, extremely rare. Not even a single safety projected to be taken in the first round. That's disappointing. So maybe we do end up taking an edge this year. There's a bunch projected to go in the top 10. Maybe one of these guys can develop over the next 3-4 years and eventually take over for Ruben Bain once he retires. I say all that, all while right guard Chad Saunders is sitting here looking rather nice. And keep in mind that we currently have a massive, massive hole at right guard. I mean, he's one of the fastest, one of the strongest, which tends to be a pretty solid combination. The only thing he is bad at is pass block finesse. I mean, A lead block, A run block power. The pass block power is solid, but more though than his skills, it's his physicals that really get me excited. Now, I still probably need to take edge, but if none of them really stand out to me, I'm probably going to go and take that right guard. Like Tim Brown, good combine, and I guess pretty decent attributes outside of maybe block shedding's pretty bad, power moves kind of mess, so it's not like a generational edge. Brandon Haynes, a very mid combine. He has some A's in there, but again, some deep finesse moves, C block shedding, definitely not generational. So unless one of these other two edge really stand out to me, I might go with that right guard. I mean, he looks pretty good. He probably looks like the best edge so far. Jonathan Parker is the fastest. And again, he looks okay. Oh, Lance Ballman here too. He is probably the worst option, or one of the worst. Like, I'm still kind of leaning towards that right guard just since it's like such a big position of need right now. Like Chad Saunders, if he is good, could step in and turn into like a 90+ rated guard for us in a couple seasons. And we still have a few years to get Ruben Bain's replacement. So I think he could suck. I genuinely don't know. I don't think so with his physicals being so good. I mean, it's very rare that you find an offensive lineman that is the fastest and also pretty much the strongest. And not to mention his 3-cone and shuttle were incredible. So I'm kind of taking a leap of faith here. I mean, he does have good ratings outside of finesse, which isn't the end of the world. He's going to be the pick. Probably like, I'm assuming a top 10 player, as long as he's not our worst, which is 11th in true value up to this point, 11 seasons in. Won't be too mad at it. I mean, just look at that guy, dude. Like, he looks like an incredible offensive lineman. When you look like a toe, that means you're going to be a stud in this game. Oh, come on, Roger. Be good news. He just doesn't look like a first-round pick, does he, man? Oh, we did it again, boys. We did it again. I think for the third time today, drafted the #1 overall player at #1. And again, I feel like it was luck. I knew he was good, but just so happened, I suppose, that a player at a position of need just so happened to be the best player in the draft. Oh, and you best believe if I knew his jersey number beforehand, it never would have been a question. Excited to see what that overall is. I'm assuming like maybe high 70s, low 80s. At the same time, let's see if our CPU can actually impress me a little bit here. Come on, I want a generational draft. Chad's good. He's an 80. But outside of that, dude, it's a bunch of mid. Imagine how stacked our team would be if the CPU just drafted just halfway decent. Like, just draft like you have a better IQ than the average Alabamian, dude, and we have the best team of all time. Like, what is 66 rated Trey Bautista, our 3rd round pick, gonna do for me? Nothing. Probably get cut. Despite being let down by the CPU front office for the 800th time today, I still feel like we have a good enough roster to go back-to-back for the first time in today's video. I mean, like, we're starting to lose a little bit of our firepower, but at the same time, man, we're coming in as a 91 overall team, 93 offense, 89 defense, still plenty of good to win another Super Bowl. But with this being so far in, I do want to provide a quick update on all of our former #1 overall draft picks, starting with Kamon Spell, 99 rated. Bryson Wright, still only 26 years old, still a 99 himself. Dante Moore at the age of 31 is starting to go down a little bit in overall every season, although he's still a stud and probably regain that 99 throughout this year. Ruben Bain, our oldest former #1 overall draft pick, coming in 94 rated. Probably got another good 2 or 3 seasons left before he retires. Like I said, in the meantime, we do probably need to try and draft his replacement. Then we got Zion Lee, 7th-year player, now 28 years old, 93 overall. Kari Seymour's turned into quite the beast. X-Factor defensive tackle just in his 4th season. Then we got Charles Jagusa here out of Notre Dame, 8th-year right tackle, 31 years old, 92 overall. That Kendall Pollard, 3rd-year center out of Miami, 91 rated. Then we got Kirk Downs, #1 overall pick at cornerback 2 seasons ago, now at 86 rated. Then behind him, we got Tavares Young in his 3rd year, 84 overall left tackle. Now, with everything that we've already accomplished throughout today's challenge, don't you think it's about time for the first time we make it to back-to-back Super Bowls? Another 12-win season, not bad. Top 10 offense yet again, can't complain. Defensively, we top 5. Is this not identical numbers to a year ago? That is actually more strange than impressive. His QB rating was 0.5 higher this year. He threw for 50 more yards, 1 more interception, was sacked only 1 less time. I mean, a good season, but strange. Very odd. I mean, he could have won MVP again. That'd be nice. Come on, with one of the best seasons we've seen from him yet. 1,400 yards, 8 tutties. And then Rob Carpenter, our Marvin Harrison replacement, stepping in. 1,240 yards and 17 touchdowns. Denzel Boston still putting up good numbers, as is Bryson Wright. And our Trey McBride replacement, Enrique Reyes, not putting up like top 5 fantasy tight end points or anything. That's still respectable. And defensively, Ruben Baines still producing at a high level. 15 sacks, Seymour with 8.5. Interesting that Alton Boyd had more sacks this season than Zion Ely. He only had 18 tackles. What in the world? He barely even played. Oh, Rob this season had Drake May on the Broncos, by the way, win this year's NFL MVP. Still just absolutely impossible for us to win Coach of the Year, so I just don't expect that to ever happen. And no, I didn't have a single award winner this season. But let's see if we can lock in here, boys, go on another run, and win our 4th Super Bowl. Well, that's a vibe killer. All right, getting first rounded by the 7 seed is just never a good look. We lost in overtime. The defense gave over 400 yards to the Minnesota Vikings, and Drew Aller at quarterback, by the way, so yeah, it's a bad look. Okay, that's not good news. Lost 2 of our more consistent players to retirement at the same time. Charles Demings is gone. Denzel Boston is gone. 2 of the better picks of the front office made this entire franchise, and somehow we're going to have to find a way to replace them. Which, like, we could potentially replace them in free agency with the $162 million we have, but we all know, guys, it's just not going to happen. Because, like, now looking at the lineup, we obviously could use a 3rd receiver. At least this Rob Carpenter guy is now a superstar, so he looks like he's going to be halfway decent. The offensive line is still good. Could still use a much better safety tandem, and probably now need another corner. So still so many holes to fill, and me personally, I can only fill 1. Honestly, this might be the point though. We need to go ahead and replace Ruben Baines, which we could, because the #1 pick in the mock draft is Jose Martinez, right edge out of Washington. So it does look like one of those drafts that have some pretty good edge rushers at the top. So it does look like we're at least going to have 2 decent options to choose from. But let's just see if we can actually get lucky here in the front office. Just sign somebody, just 1 or 2 starters, and I'll be the happiest man on the planet. Or not, you know, we're just obviously content, just sitting there with almost $200 million in available salary cap. This says Tyquan Johnson should be the #1 pick at quarterback. I mean, I don't think so. Like, Dante Moore is only 32 years old, still an X Factor 96 rated, so like we should still get like a good 3 or 4 years out of him. But like, he does look really good though. He's a top 5 talent, which means he's probably like a high 70s rated player. So he could be good once Dante Moore retired, and he could be our quarterback for the rest of this franchise. But I feel like we have other big positions of need right now, with one of those being a long-term starter at one of our edge rush positions. And Jose Martinez was the top guy on the board. It looks kind of mid. I mean, oh my God, he doesn't look good. The other guy looked better. Chris Harrison, he's the fastest edge of the combine, but he also has like really mid skills. He's got some A's in there, so it's like, what do I even do? Jose Martinez, I got 50 seconds on the clock. I'm just going to take him since he was projected #1 pick. I don't feel too confident about this one. He doesn't look too intimidating, so I wouldn't be shocked if this ended up being our worst pick of the video yet. I don't know, Martinez, can you please shock me? Okay. It is the worst pick so far. It's not horrible, but number 17 in true value. I don't think we had drafted lower than the 11th best player. So, by far worst player. He does have hidden depth, though. He'll have a few years to progress behind Ruben Baines before he retires. So, again, a little disappointing, but not the worst pick. Now, with all the holes that we have, because we have some of our players starting to retire, we just need our CPU to lock the frick in here. Just give me 1, 2 decent players. They're just not making it easy on me, dude. They got a decent cornerback in the 7th round, which kind of saves it, but my God, what in the world has happened to our front office, dude? They all need IQ tests. I legitimately think over the course of the last 10 years, our CPU has drafted probably 15 edge rushers who've all just been cut from the team immediately. Yeah, dude, that's the perfect last name for this draft class. I guess at least Jose's not bad. 77 rated edge rusher. Taking a glance at next year's team, I'm just so happy our front office is helping us out so much. With that $160 million he just had sitting there, decided not to re-sign our left guard, so we have to have this guy. But outside of that, the offense I think is fine. And outside of safety, I feel like we're okay at defense too. I mean, the team still comes in 92 rated, 96 offense, 88 defense. So they still maybe could sneak in a Super Bowl run this year. I have mentioned a few times, I do feel like we're due for just a catastrophic season. Like a year where just out of nowhere we win only like 5 or 6 games. Now, fellas, I do have to admit, 16-1 comes as quite the surprise. Our best season yet, which we've yet to go undefeated up to this point, but it's so funny. We went 16-1 and our only loss was a freaking blowout. How we go 16-1 and lose by 30 points to the Lions? Oh, Dante Moore, gotta be better. And it sets up perfectly, dudes. We win 16 games as the 1 seed, with the AFC 1 seed being the Bengals, who we've already beaten twice today in the Super Bowl. Top 2 in the NFL offensively, and defensively top 5. Another great season from Dante Moore, but we saw the most of our production on offense come via the running game. Come on, Spell. Best season of his career as like a 29-year-old back. Almost 1,700 yards, 16 touchdowns, 15.3 yards per carry. And he did all of that, dude, on 311 attempts and didn't fumble a singular time. Bryson Wright back in action, 100 grabs, 1,218 yards, 10 tutties. This Connor White fella, who is 6'8", by the way. Hold the freaking phone, dude. A 6'8", 217-pound receiver that wears number 25 is just kind of diabolical. 84 speed. Like, who the heck is this guy? Ruben Bain continues to impress, boys. 14 sacks. I'm telling you, our defense can take a massive step backwards once he inevitably retires. Because for some reason, Zion Ely is getting no playing time. Like, that's 2 straight seasons where he had less than 25 tackles. This is just weird. And unfortunately, Jose Martinez, the number 1 pick, hardly played at all, which I do want to see. He still could progress a little bit up to 82 with the superstar. So again, once Ruben Bain retires, he should be able to take over, be half decent. Dante Moore comes top 5 again. We finally, for the first time in what, 13 years, win Coach of the Year. It took a 16-1 season to get it done. I'm sure a lot of the voters, they wanted to vote in Brian instead, but finally, we beat the voters and win Coach of the Year. How Kemon Spell ran for as many yards and touchdowns as he did and only came 8th in Offensive Player of the Year voting, that's a little criminal. But can we do it, boys? Can we win our 4th Super Bowl in the year 2037? It's set up to perfection, boys. 16-1. We've already beaten the Bengals twice today when they were the opposing 1 seed. Come on, let's get it done, boys. Let's make it to our 4th Super Bowl, which we have never lost yet. Are we not going to make it as a 16-1 team? Oh my God. How did that happen? We lost by a single point. Dude, that is so gross. Oh, we give up 14 points in the 3rd quarter. A collapse of all collapse, boys, in the biggest moment. Oh, it's so gross. We even got the Jaden Wade 5 times this game. We ran the ball better than them. We just couldn't stop Jet Harrison. Gotta take this as motivation for next year, boys, because this one stinks. I have a bad feeling as well that we're gonna have some big-time players retired this offseason, which we know the CPU is not gonna replace. Oh, God, brother, let's see the damage here. Okay, I think we just had like a 3rd or 4th string defensive tackle call it quit, so that's not the end of the world. But again, Ruben Bain, he's gonna be gone soon. Dante Moore is gonna be gone soon, too. We still have got to find a way to win another Super Bowl. Which, the upcoming draft, we could use ourselves another offensive lineman, maybe another receiver. Actually, our receiver's pretty good. This 6'8" guy, I think he'd be a good number 3 receiver for a while. Should still be good at quarterback and running back for at least another 2 or 3 seasons, so we don't got to worry about that too much. Defensively, again, still kind of looking for a half-decent safety to take number 1. If I see a safety projected to be a top 10 pick, gonna take him, no questions asked. Oh, and yet again, spent no money in free agency. This is the dumbest game I've ever seen in my life. Which we are projected to go offensive line with the number 1 pick this year. So Reggie Henson, maybe if he's good enough, we could move him inside to guard. Some other good edge rushers, and in the top 10, a bunch of defensive tackles, but no safeties, it looks like. Tim Anderson looks good here, so maybe we scout him, and if there's like a generational strong safety, maybe we take him number 1, which I'm not gonna lie, boys, Reggie Henson looks like a freaking beast. I mean, he's 6'5", while being the most athletic tackle at the entire combine. He's pretty much elite at everything except the bench press. Now, his skills, look at that, dude. A's across the board. And it doesn't shock me that his pass block power is B with the low bench press reps, but still being B is solid. I think I'm just gonna take him. Reggie Henson is going to be the pick. I have a feeling he's going to be a really, really good offensive tackle. Just again this season, looking to draft somebody at least with a top 5 value. I'm not going to lie, he looks really skinny for an offensive tackle. It kind of worries me a little bit, but who cares how skinny he is as long as the overall is extremely, extremely high. Reggie, please. Don't let me down here, brother. He just looks the same size as Roger Goodell. He looks actually shorter than Roger Goodell, but he comes in number 1 in true value. Who cares how short he is? Hidden Dev as well. 80 speed at left tackle is crazy. We're going to move him inside to guard, but I feel like this is probably going to be one of our best picks the entire day. But let's confirm that by checking his overall. And again, I know I say it every year, but my God, dude, the CPU has been diabolical at drafting. I feel like we're due for something half decent here. Most importantly, our left tackle comes in 82 rated, and it's, I'm aggravated. I'm mad. Like, we legit could have 10 Super Bowls right now if the CPU wasn't brain dead. It's legitimately like we have Helen Keller drafting for us. Like, this is actually ridiculous. This is what, like, out of the last 5 drafts, I think 4 of them, we haven't drafted a player over 70 rated in the last 6 rounds. And like I said, we needed a safety, dude. And there's a goddamn 76 rated sitting there in the 3rd round. I don't get it. A good D tackle sitting there, an incredible guard sitting there, and we just take nothing but 60 rated. But hey, at least Reggie looks good though. So all I can do is control what I can control, and I hit on another good prospect. Although I have no idea what his overall is going to be over at guard. Okay, he went up by 3. Let's go. Which I have to admit, boys, I have a very low confidence that we can repeat last year's 16-1 season. Because if you look over here, this is the lowest overall our defense has been in probably over a decade. And the reason our defense is so low overall is look at our defensive tackle room. Once again, we didn't re-sign Walter Nolan, who didn't retire. It's just, I understand maybe not signing a bunch of players at a free agency, but I don't understand with all that cash not re-signing some of your better players. And Ruben Bain, man, he's on his last legs here. He's still a beast. He's a superstar at 90 rated, but with him being 34 years old, this very easily could be the last year we see him in the National Football League. Every time I think we're going to have a bad season, we always exceed my expectations. So I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, if we go undefeated here. 13-4, another first-round bye. Best believe I'm not complaining. Okay, this year, somehow, number 1 in the National Football League offensively. Defensively, we're 7th. A really good season from Dante Moore, but come on, Spell is aging like a fine wine, brother. Almost 2,000 yards, up to 1,900, 19 touchdowns. How old is this guy? He's 29 years old, 99 rated, so unfortunately, it's going to go down every year in overall now. My God, dude. What a pick he has turned out to be, even though at running back, number 1 is kind of crazy. But I think he ended up being one of our smartest picks of the entire day. Interested to see if he continues to get better. Maybe next season hits 2,000 yards. Bryson Wright continues to lead the air attack. Another incredible season from our former number 1 pick. 1,400 yards on the dot, 17 tutties. The 6'8", 84 speed receiver Connor White still putting up really good numbers. Although I'm a little shocked he only had 1 touchdown being 6'8". And Spell as well, dude, through the air. That's 7 touchdowns receiving. That's a total of what, 26 touchdowns? Very easily could have won Offensive Player of the Year this year. Now, defensively, we had Kari Seymour lead us in sacks. Ruben Bain, 13.5. This is what I expected from Zion Ealy. And look at Jose Martinez, 9.5. So if he ends up taking over for Ruben Bain next year, I think he's well on his way to being at least halfway as productive as Ruben. Now, did Spell get any MVP votes at running back? No, he didn't, unfortunately. Dante Moore didn't even get a top 10 vote. Like, what are we doing? And there it is, well-deserved. For the first time in his career, come on, Spell wins NFC Offensive Player of the Year. Oh, and Seymour for the first time about won Defensive Player of the Year. Now, the question here is, boys, as the 1 seed this season, can we make it back to the big game? We fell a little bit short by a singular point a year ago, but can we get it done? Yet again, no we don't. Oh my God, we lost this year by 2. Oh, if we end up failing this challenge because we can't make it back to the Super Bowl by single digits, I'm gonna cry. Oh, and it's gonna get harder and harder from here, boys, because I'm telling you, some of our better players is gonna start to retire each and every season. I'm really hoping Ruben Bain gives us just 1 more year. Just 1 more season before you retire, pal. Okay, it looks good so far. Oh no, there it is. God dang it. Just please tell me he's at least like the only one. Oh God, that's horrible. Oh no, our premier offensive tackle, Charles Jagusa, after 11 seasons, 90+ rated. I think he retired at 33. I don't know why. Oh, it's gonna be tough, man. Like, do we go offensive tackle again this upcoming draft? And what sucks again is we have $190 million to spend, so the front office could easily replace those 2, but I think we all know that's not gonna happen. I mean, the offense is still in good shape. Like, Coleman's not horrible to take over. I mean, obviously a downgrade. I still think we should be competitive next season. Defense definitely has some holes. And it's like, if there's a good enough quarterback, man, it really might be in the team's best interest in the team's future to go ahead and draft a Dante Moore replacement, sit behind him a year or 2, progress a little bit. So maybe by the time Dante Moore does retire, he's like an 80, 85 rated. Oh, so many different directions we could go in this upcoming draft, boys, and I don't really know what to do. Wait a minute. Did we actually sign free agents, or did we just sign contract extensions? Okay, we re-signed Rasheem Biles, but I think we also must have signed a few free agents. And if that's the case, it's only like the 2nd time in, what, 15 years that we have actually signed free agents, which, okay, you love to see it. Signed a Mike linebacker who doesn't look good, but we signed Marcus Fakatu, signed Nick Vega, offensive guard, Des Ricks and Cole Gibson, a safety, which we needed. Hold the phone, boys, because that actually might completely change our draft strategy here. With that, boys, I think the offensive line is set, so we don't got to worry about that at all. And defensively, I mean, that safety comes in at 81 rate is better than what we had the last few years. Got a new starter at Mike linebacker, got a good defensive tackle too. So honestly, we're at the point where we might just be able to take best player available, or it might be the point in time where we go ahead and get Dante Moore's future replacement. Because again, for all I know, dude, Dante Moore could play until he's 37, but also for all I know, he could retire his next season. I wouldn't think so with him still being a 90 rated X factor, but regardless, he's going to continue to get worse and worse every year. So we got to think ahead, boys, because even if we have a really stacked team around him, if we have a rookie quarterback coming as like a 75 rated, probably won't compete for a Super Bowl for a couple seasons at least. So I do want to check out the latest mock draft. Has us going with edge again, which we don't necessarily need. The best quarterback in the class, oh god, way down here, we have Leslie Beasley. There's only one quarterback projected to go in the first round. That's a little not promising. So if it's not a good quarterback class, we might just have to skip another season, which might set us up for failure in the future, not gonna lie. But if there's a quarterback, I'm not gonna lie, if there's a quarterback that looks half decent here, I might go ahead and take him. Okay, which we have two scouted. We have Leslie Beasley, who we just saw, who's projected to go in the top 10, and Jarvis House, which Jarvis House has the better awareness, which is pretty good. His key ratings look nice. He's 6'6", 225 out of Wake Forest. He, not the fastest, but the strongest. He looks, I mean, everything looks good to me about Leslie, though, for taking the quarterback. He's 6'5", also not the fastest, also kind of strong. His skills look a little bit weaker than the other option, so I might go with the quarterback from Wake Forest, because we really don't need edge. Like I said, don't need D-tackle now, so maybe we just go ahead, be a little crazy. He's probably going to be like a 74, 75 rated, but I think Jarvis House is going to be the future of the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, the only thing that looks bad is his play action and throwing the run. Everything else looks really, really good, so let's lock it in. Hopefully be a repeat of Dante Moore's success, which again, hopefully he won't retire for another 2 or 3 seasons, and that entire time our quarterback here can progress a little bit further. We got the swag to him. Look at him. The salute and all. His last name is House, dude. He's got the aura of a franchise quarterback. Okay, 23 in true value, which is quite easily the worst player that we've drafted so far. But as long as he comes in with hidden development, give him a few years to progress, he should be decent. Dude, a quarterback wearing number 0 is crazy. Hopefully you're not a mistake, Jarvis. And with that, dude, I have no faith. No faith at all in the CPU. So let's just get back to it. Let's go ahead and check out these 60 rateds that they draft. Most importantly, Jarvis House comes in as a 76 rate. We got a good guard in the second round, but outside of that, everybody else is just trash. I mean, surely he'll be fine, right? He's got some good swag to him. He's got the little arm sleeve. Wearing number 0 again, it's just crazy. 93 throw power, 82 accuracy. I feel like we can work with this. But I think we're ready to roll, boys, with Dante Moore starting to go down a little bit in overall. Really hoping maybe this could be the year we win our 4th Super Bowl. Even got Spell going down in overall, so once he gets to where he's washed, we might have to use another first-round pick on a running back, which is a little unfortunate. But I feel like for the first time in, 10 years, our free agent signings really filled the void with some of our empty positions. So, I mean, I feel like we should be able to compete this year with the team up to a 92 overall, 97 offense, and got the defense up from an 84 to 88. But keep in mind, boys, this is the first year of this entire franchise where we do not have Ruben Bain in our roster. So hopefully Martinez can step in, provide some half-decent production, and hopefully the pass rush doesn't completely fall off. That'd be kind of sad. And I did want to see, yes, Ruben Bain became the all-time sack leader in Arizona Cardinal history with 166, so obviously the best pass rusher the team has ever seen. And also at the same time has some other records broken. Dante Moore is all-time leading passer in Cardinals history. Spell the all-time leading rusher, which hopefully those two can continue to add to those numbers, because I'm really hoping they don't retire for at least another 3 seasons, but who knows. No first-round bye this year, but 12-5, still super solid. And for the first time today, our team hits a 99 overall offense. Okay, I really feel like that's the best finish we've had offensively this entire franchise. Defensively, without Ruben Bain, we still finished top 5, which I think this is the best season we've ever seen from Dante Moore. 4,500 yards, 42 touchdowns, single-digit interceptions. On the ground, still production from Come On Spell. Not the 2,000-yard season we were dreaming of, but still 1,500 yards, 5 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns is extremely solid. Now through the year, Bryson Wright continues to get better and better, also aging like a fine wine. 1,751 yards, 21 touchdowns. Got to be good enough for Offensive Player of the Year. And also, Rob Carpenter putting up good numbers. Let's see who did the thing defensively for us. I see some big sack numbers over there. We had Jose Martinez, the #1 pick from 3 seasons ago, 15.5 sacks. Zion Ely with 11.5. Oh, Dante Moore, I feel like robbed this season of MVP, but surely we had Offensive Player of the Year. No, we didn't. How did Bryson Wright with 1,800 yards, 21 touchdowns not beat out Max Battles? And hopefully, though, even though Ruben Bay retired, we'll still have a perennial Defensive Player of the Year contender. Jose Martinez eventually will win it. Speak it into existence. I gotta see what this guy from the Falcons did, though. I mean, he had less yards, 2 more touchdowns. I feel like that's an L. Let's see, boys. With a 99 overall offense, can we make it back to the Super Bowl before the 2040 season? At that point in time, we'd have 5 more years to win our 4th Super Bowl to complete today's challenge. Hopefully we can get it done right here and now. Oh, wow. So I suppose sometimes you just go on a run when you least expect it, because I didn't expect a Super Bowl berth this year. 99 rated offense, so carries us all the way to the Super Bowl. Gotta see how we got this done. This might be the first time I believe we made the Super Bowl without having a first round bye. I mean, we pretty much took down everybody quite comfortably. Beat the Cowboys by 10, beat the Giants by 13, then beat the Falcons by 18 points in the conference championship game away from home. Now all we have to do is beat the Broncos, which who in the world at this point in time, like 15 years in the future, do the Broncos even have? I mean, to be honest, dude, we've played much more talented teams in the Super Bowl up to this point. Might be the least talented team we played the entire video. I mean, they got a good quarterback, wide receiver, running back trio, so sometimes that's really all it takes. But it is time to lock the frick in here, boys. All we need, one more, as big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And it's right now time for some big-time players to make some big-time plays, because it's a big-time game. Come on, man. Can we officially turn the Arizona Cardinals into one of the best franchises in NFL history? 7-0, just like that. Can this be a blowout? 10-0. Keep the Broncos out of the end zone. Defense locking them down right now. 17-0. No shot. No shot. 20-0. It's a shutout in the Super Bowl. 20-0 as your Arizona Cardinals have won their 4th Super Bowl in about 15 seasons. The scenes, it's poetry as Dante Moore goes down as one of the greatest quarterbacks who's ever lived. As yes, my friends, this might be Super Bowl number 4, but you best believe we want more. Now, we did have some key contributors retire, but most importantly, Dante Moore stuck around for more. At least once he does eventually retire, we will have Jarvin House waiting in the wings, who is progressing rather nicely. Now, for the 2040 NFL Draft, we decided to go with the cornerback since he was projected to go top 5, which is unusual, and it was yet again another banger of a selection. Another useless shift from the CPU, though. No idea what they get paid for, but crazy enough, our #1 overall pick, Pleasant, comes in as one of the highest rated players we've drafted in the last 2 decades. Now, if Dante really decides that this is his last season, I'm really hoping he can go out with a bang, which 14-3, another first round bye, definitely gives us some hope. Another top 10 finish from both sides of the ball, another banger of a season from our skill players, with the 6'8" string being putting up Alex Pierce with Danny Dimes type numbers. And no Ruben Bain, no problem, as our pass rush might actually be getting better as a whole. No awards this year, though, and no Super Bowl appearance either. And that's like, what, our 4th time getting knocked out in the conference championship game by less than a touchdown? But thankfully, to my surprise, Dante Moore's actually given it another season, which gives our youngster another year to develop. And look at last year's 1st overall pick, already up to a 90 overall X factor. But another problem that we're going to be running into here soon is Kamon Spell retiring, because running backs don't typically make it past 33 in this game, and it's going to be almost impossible to replace his production, so we might just have to take a running back #1 overall again here soon, so we can progress behind him like House is. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like there are many options. So in 2041, I just went with the top player on the board, which turned out to be a rather solid strategy, coming in as an 82 overall, although I have no idea where he's going to play. And what do you know? Another disaster class from the Alabama IQ CPU, which we really could use some cheap depth, because there's a really good chance this season is the last that we get from both Dante Moore and Kamon Spell. Oh no, dude. This is the worst season we have seen in a long time. But let's see if we can make the Super Bowl as huge underdogs for once. Don't really know why we were so mid this season, because we were actually still really good on both sides of the football. And all of our skill position players were fantastic yet again. Actually had 3 1,000-yard receivers, I think, for the first time in this franchise. Our pass rush was fantastic too. And it's about time. Well deserved for big boy Seymour. So what are the odds we get ourselves a majestic, magical Super Bowl run? 0. But hey, at least we didn't get first rounded, I suppose. Oh, and there it is. Unfortunately, that's how Dante Moore goes out. After 15 legendary seasons in the National Football League, putting up over 60,000 career passing yards and 500 career passing touchdowns. But the good news here is that we've prepared for this moment, and also good news, Spell has given us another season. Don't hate me, guys, I went boring again. Top guy on the board, which I said isn't the dumbest strat. I mean, this guy just looks mean. I mean, pretty good pick to me, considering he's the highest rated player we have ever drafted in almost 20 years. And with the AIDS virus that we've dealt with over the years spreading across the front office, this year feels like the greatest draft we have ever seen from the CPU. Now time to see if all that learning behind Dante Moore was worth it. I mean, mid again, but at least we didn't miss out on the playoffs. I mean, the offense didn't skip a beat. Wait, how are we so mid? I mean, yeah, he may be turning the ball over a bit more than what we're accustomed to after watching Dante Moore for 15 years, but not really bad for his first season starting. Spell's still productive. And DeMar Dyson out of nowhere, apparently his best pals with a new quarterback. We had 3 players this season with double-digit sacks, but why on earth does Zion randomly put up a stinker every couple seasons? Now, our quarterback's already up to an 88 overall after just 1 season of starting, so maybe he can creep on up there towards a 99 eventually. And you gotta be kidding me, dude. First year with a new quarterback, and we're back in the Super Bowl. Now, we've made it this far. What are the odds he can actually bring us Super Bowl number 5? Oh, it's a heartbreaker. First time we have ever lost a Super Bowl, dude. How depressing. It's all okay, because Jarvis is just getting started. The bad news, though, boys. We have officially lost the best running back in the history of our franchise. And not to purposely make the vibe even more depressing, but we also lost an extremely productive cornerback. But Spell finishes off his career with 18,473 yards and 153 touchdowns, making him the best running back of all time, according to Madden. And we have got to hope and pray that there's a running back out there this year good enough to potentially replace him. Byron, don't be a bust, please, pal. I mean, Byron Bynes, that just sounds like an all-pro running back. Which, hold on a second, we actually signed a running back. And he's an X-Factor too, man, so maybe he's the replacement. But hey, brother, I suppose we could also use a good backup. Taking a backup running back number 1 overall is diabolical. But hey, not bad. Not too bad, I suppose. I mean, coming in as a 78 overall, he does have a chance to be the future here, although he is a tad older than ideal. I mean, it's a solid running back room, though, which they should be able to run for 100,000 yards this season running behind this offensive line. Oh, no. A 3rd consecutive 9-win season has finally caught up and ruined us. Gosh dang it, Spell, you did us dirty. Big step backwards from the offense, while the defense still stayed solid. I mean, not too bad from the young quarterback, but it was quite the noticeable step backwards in the running game. Still liking what I'm seeing from the receiver room, and my God, Jose! At least the Defensive Player of the Year award is a half-decent consolation prize after this franchise missed the playoffs for the first time in almost 2 decades. And somehow, the news gets even worse. Long snapper Lane retired. Plus, our original Trey McBride replacement and one of the best edge rushers we've ever seen. So do we go and get the edge rush replacement this draft, or do we go a different direction? Or maybe the computer will help me out and actually sign somebody. Get the fuck. You know what? I think we're gonna be crazy, boys. I think we're gonna go tight end number 1 overall for the very first time, which actually not too bad of a decision. Hey, maybe the CPU can draft that edge that we need. I mean, they didn't, but a 75 rated in the 2nd round might be the best we've ever seen from him. I mean, I don't know if this tight end is gonna be Trey McBride quality, but he doesn't look too shabby. Now, next season, with all the holes that we have, I just have no idea if we have the firepower that we're used to make it back to the Super Bowl. Okay, so this was unexpected. It feels like the old days. The league's best offense and one of the best Ds. There's the 3rd-year breakout we were waiting on. Running game still lacking a bit though, but our wide receivers picking up the slack, which thank God for Martinez. I guess Jadarius did do a decent job of filling in. Now, what are the odds a 1st-round bye here can lead us to another Super Bowl? Of course not. Lost to a 7 seed. Embarrassing. Lock in, boys. Come on. Oh, and the pain gets even worse as a Larry Fitzgerald comp calls it quits. Which he did actually end up with more touchdowns than Larry, but couldn't pass him in yards or catches. But now, for our 20th and final 1st-round selection, what do we do? Wait, there's actually a running back projected to go top 5, and for that to be the case, man, he's gotta be generational. But like, do I actually take a running back with the number 1 overall pick 2 out of the last 3 drafts? Of course we do! And I'm glad that we did! Cause funny enough, boys, he actually turned out to be the highest rated player we have ever drafted and the highest rated player we have seen in any draft all day long. Which, screw Byron, dude, we just gotta start him. So 20 first overall draft picks later, can this final team leave us off for the Super Bowl? Okay, maybe, because we had ourselves another 14-3 first-round bye season on our hands, and that rookie running back dude was actually a monster, which was never a doubt. He won Rookie of the Year all the way up to a 93 overall X Factor already at 21 years old. Come on, brother, can we please end today's video off with an absolute bang? Ugh! Hey, 4 Super Bowls later, with every objective complete, I feel like I did a rather excellent job working the old draft boards. So if you're enjoying these crazy, time-consuming challenges, you can click right here to watch another one.